We're going to wrap up 2020 with the following line of duty deaths. Officer Randall Smith, 63 years old, Birmingham Police Department, Alabama. End of watch December 28th. Officer Randy Smith died as a result of complications of an inadvertent gunshot wound suffered on March 25th, 1995, while responding to a domestic disturbance. Officer Smith arrived on the scene and entered the home in an attempt to rescue a child. As he was rushing back outside with the child, another officer heard the commotion and was entering the home when the two nearly collided. The second officer's gun was inadvertently discharged, and the round struck Officer Smith in the head. He remained in a coma for several weeks following the shooting. The wound left him partially deaf, partially blind, and permanently disabled. Officer Smith was a U.S. Army veteran and had served with the Birmingham Police Department for 8 years at the time of the incident. He is survived by his 3 children, 2 grandchildren, and mother. K-9 Loki, Boone County Sheriff's Office, Illinois. End of watch December 27th. K-9 Loki was killed when his handler's patrol car was struck by a drunk driver. His handler was conducting a traffic stop and was speaking to the driver of the stopped vehicle when the patrol car was struck from behind by a limousine being operated by a drunk driver. K-9 Loki was transported to an emergency veterinary hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The following officers died in the line of duty after contracting COVID-19 while on duty. Sheriff Alan Weber, Gove County Sheriff's Office, Kansas. Officer Andrew Bouchard, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Custom and Border Protection. Lieutenant Craig King, Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, Texas. Police Officer Christopher Elder, Milford Police Department, Texas. Sergeant David Lynn Schmidt, Seagoville Police Department, Texas. Security Control Specialist Jerry Jones, Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, Texas. Corrections Officer Philip Holbert, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Police Officer Kendall Blackburn, Lebanon Police Department, Missouri. Corrections Officer Joe Landon, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And now we will start with 2021's line of duty deaths. Sergeant Gordon Best, 30 years old, North Myrtle Beach Department of Public Safety, South Carolina. End of watch January 1st. Sergeant Best was killed in a single car crash when his patrol car left the roadway and struck a utility pole during a rainstorm. Sergeant Best had served with the North Myrtle Beach Public Safety for 7 years and is survived by his wife and 2 children. Sergeant Daniel Mobley, 44 years old, DeKalb County Police Department, Georgia. End of watch January 2nd. Sergeant Mobley was struck and killed by a vehicle while on scene of a previous crash involving another DeKalb County officer. Sergeant Mobley served the DeKalb County Police Department for 22 years. Sergeant Bruce Watson, 51 years old, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Texas. End of watch January 2nd. Sergeant Watson was killed in a motorcycle crash. He had just completed a funeral escort when his department motorcycle collided with an SUV. Sergeant Watson was a U.S. Army veteran and had served with the Harris County Sheriff's Office for 20 years. He is survived by his wife, 3 children, and grandchild. His wife serves with the Houston Police Department. Police Officer Brian Sicknick, United States Capitol Police, Washington, D.C. End of watch January 7th. Officer Sicknick was working the protest in D.C. on January 6th and was physically engaging rioters. He went back to the command where he collapsed. He was taken to an area hospital where he succumbed to his injuries early this morning. He's only the 6th Capitol Police officer to be killed in the line of duty. Officer Sicknick was a U.S. Air Force veteran and served with the U.S. Capitol Police for 12 years. We'll now take a moment of silence to honor the fallen police officers, firefighter, first responders, and veterans killed in the line of duty. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Blue Room, where we have the right to remain silent, but...
That ain't happening.
Oh, look at him. He's so excited,
He
right?
was quick. He was quick tonight.
Yeah, he was on top of that.
Quick on the trigger.
Welcome back, guys. I feel like the volume's a little loud here. Let me lower that down.
What?
So 2020 wrapped up. We had about 307 line of duty deaths. Of that, 189 were COVID related.
Wow. Jeez.
That's crazy. 189 line of duty deaths from COVID last year. Texas again had the unfortunate distinction of being the league leader with 69, followed by the U.S. government agencies with 23. So you take the 307 line of duty deaths in 2020. If you remove the 189 COVID related, we were down to 118 deaths, which is down from 148 in 2019,
Yep.
which is a good thing. You can attribute it to less interaction with the public, so maybe it may have not have been as. The bottom line is that less officers
Less
were killed in the line,
proactivity.
exactly.
Less proactivity.
But also involvement, direct involvement because of the COVID-19. Sergeants this week took a big hit. All 3 line of duty deaths were sergeants. And of course, Texas always in the mix. I know it's a big state and it's very concentrated population there, but they keep hitting it out there.
Yeah.
Good.
This
Please-
doesn't
please-
Come on in, Jose.
this doesn't happen when Jacob's in the booth.
Please refer to him by
Jose.
his official name. It's Einstein.
Einstein.
This is-
It's okay. What are we doing?
I have technical difficulties right now.
Well, we're gonna pretend that he's not there. So a couple of line of duty death anniversaries this week we'll talk about. I just want to mention real quick, January 5th, 2018, Jersey City Police Lieutenant Christopher Robitaille was struck and killed by a vehicle while on his way to work. He stopped to check on the welfare of another vehicle accident on his way to work. He wasn't officially on, I guess probably in uniform on the way to work, so I'm sure it was designated line of duty death. He was struck in that vehicle accident and was killed. January 6th, 2006, NYPD Detective James Zadroga died from complications as a result of his exposure to down at 9/11. His death rings a little bit special. I mean, a lot of guys died from 9/11 cancer, but Zadroga, his involvement, his family's involvement in getting the Zadroga Act, which was named after him, to guarantee medical help for any 9/11 first responders going forward for the rest of their lives, was tremendous. So, James Zadroga, we remember you. January 7th, 07, Patterson police officer Tyron Franklin shot and killed while in a fast food restaurant right here in this neighborhood that we're sitting in right now. He was off duty in a fast food place. Someone came in, tried to rob the place. He identified himself as an officer, was taking police action, and was shot and killed. Bavinia Franklin, his sister, got on the job, and she's currently a Patterson police officer wearing his shield, which is
Awesome.
pretty cool stuff.
Awesome.
Wow.
Just you guys will never be forgotten. Just the sacrifices that were made. Do we have our caller on the horn? Not yet.
Nah,
We'll
shoot
take
him
a
a
little-
text.
Take a little time. Christian, how was your week?
Normal.
Just stop.
Normal. I mean, nothing crazy. Working. Doing my thing.
Doing your
How's
thing?
your other gig, Christian? Your side gig?
Pretty chill.
Or is that your main gig and this is your side gig?
This is
No.
Christian Benia, Mall Cop. Isn't that
What?
Mall Cop? Isn't that
Mall Cop.
Is that your side piece?
No.
No, side gig, not
Oh,
side
side gig,
piece.
side gig,
He
sorry.
does not. He has to have a main piece to have a side piece.
That,
doesn't
yeah,
he?
I don't know. I think you'd probably be in a better position if you had just a bunch of side pieces with no main piece. Doesn't that make sense?
Well, it depends on who we're talking about. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I
Nothing
know?
crazy in my personal life, but I'm kind of.
It's too early, Chris. Please
Yeah.
don't. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Fine.
Jesus.
Fine.
Holly Finley's joining us in studio today. How are you, Holly?
Hey, I'm good, Tommy. How
Yeah,
are you?
you feeling chipper and vibrant and
I
full
feel
of energy?
that yes, I'm working on being optimistic. Yes, yes.
All right, well, that's really the only way to get through anything.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
I don't care what you do in life or what's thrown at you. If you sit back and just take your lumps, that's not going to help anybody. So you look at it and say, how do I go forward? How do I get through whatever it is that it's bothering me? And
That's right.
you move along.
True.
100%.
That's
True.
it. You do your best, especially if you have kids.
That's right.
That's such a the lesson you teach your kids, showing perseverance and not giving up and how to get around things, obstacles and whatnot.
100%, and not sharing things with them that they don't need to be dealing with.
That's true.
Let
Or you
them be
could,
kids.
or you could just drink. I
Or
mean,
you could just
You
drink.
could
drink,
do that
yeah,
too.
just drink.
Yeah.
All right, so our first
What's-
caller is
what
on
was he
the
doing?
line here. Ilan Srulovicz, you there, Ilan?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going? So, guys, Ilan is the owner of Egard Watches. He's been on the show before. He is a bit of an activist, a patriot, an all-around good guy. He's done some really great charitable work with Brothers Before Others.
Yes.
I'm actually wearing one of the watches right now. I don't know if you can see that. My
Let me
my
see.
Egard Blue Line watch.
Beautiful.
That watch. What's the number on that watch? Do you know by chance? Because I know all the watches are numbered, and I'm just curious.
Where would the number be?
Take it off. On the inside of the band, every watch had a number. I was just curious because
Oh.
certain people like specific numbers, and
0050.
oh, so you got 50.
I got 50.
Oh, interesting.
So wait a
I
minute.
got a girl's watch. I didn't get a number. Why is that?
listen.
I'll put a number on it for you.
But what do you mean?
So
That,
there's the back, St. Michael's.
Yep,
page
St.
just
Michael,
saying,
yeah.
My
uh,
watch is
law
beautiful.
enforcement, and the number 50, because I am 50.
Ah.
oh, so you get to customize it, right?
Well,
Put the number or the number of production?
I think it was the production number run for the BBO guys, so I got lucky. I got 50.
Yeah, I know.
So you know what? Looking at the bezel, like the face of the watch, reminds me of the Rolex.
With the Rolex.
The basil?
the
Basel.
basil.
The basil?
Oh, the bezel. Yeah.
Bezel.
bezel.
I'm sorry, bezel.
I was waiting for Elon to
It's
chime.
not-
Yeah, I know.
I was waiting for Elon to chime in on this.
It's so similar to the Rolex Daytona.
The Daytona. He even knows the model that it
Yes, but
reminds
there's
him
no
of.
herbs on the Rolex.
No
There's no seasoning or basil or
He
anything
puts,
like that.
he
on
puts
the Rolex.
basil.
Christ.
I
all
think it's
good.
inspired by the Rolex, right? I don't know.
So, Elon, any videos coming out soon that we can pass along to our people that we can keep an eye out for?
I just put out a video right now. I just
Ooh.
uploaded a video. You guys might want. I don't know if you guys want to watch it right now. I think it's pretty powerful. 'Cause with all the crazy stuff going on, I figured I would.
Can we?
It's just about freedom.
Ooh.
Is it on the website? Is it like a YouTube channel or?
Yeah, because if you got a link to it, Chris will throw the link to it in the comments.
on our
Then
YouTube channel.
it's on the YouTube channel. Which one? The Speak Truth one?
Yeah, if you go on the Egard Watches one, I put it on my company because it's going to get.
Okay.
I want it to have a stronger reaction, and typically when I put my company behind something, we have a big mailing list, so I can push the message.
Chris, can you find it and put the link on?
Yeah, Chris, go on.
Elon, is it better than the
Go
one
on
that I watched
YouTube.
at 2 o'clock in the morning?
YouTube and Egard's.
The one before that?
Oh,
We were just
I don't know if
drowning in
it's
our own tears
completely
listening.
Okay.
very different than
This
that.
one, what is freedom? A message to us all. That one, 4 minutes ago, was uploaded.
Yeah, yeah. Put the link to that in the comments.
No,
please.
it's the
Thank
new
you.
one, Chris. The one that was uploaded 2 minutes ago, not 4.
Elon, please save me.
For the love
Save
of
me.
God.
So you did that video at 1 o'clock in the morning. What was that about?
Sorry, Josh.
Which one?
The one that you put up 1 o'clock in the morning the other night when we were
Not drinking.
allegedly not having insomnia
I
and not wanting to. We were venting. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think she's talking about the Speak Truth video that we did for police a while ago, no?
No.
No. The one that you had up the other night. The one that you had up the other night in reaction to the Capitol.
Oh,
Incident.
that one. Oh, yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a lot to say about that.
I'm kind of tired of it, of the hypocrisy behind everything, and so I just started ranting on it. YouTube channel. That's pretty much what that is.
Well, it's hard not to. It's hard not to be for so many people that are condemning. Like any other protest, 99.9% is a peaceful protest, and then you get a couple of bad actors that kind of
Antifa.
get their shit twisted up, and then it goes bad. But this was a peaceful protest at the beginning. Some bad actors did some things, and now you've got the same politicians that over months and months and months that turned a blind eye, and it was okay, and now it happened at their front steps, and all of a sudden they're outraged. They're oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. What is this country coming to? We need to really. What about how many cities were burned down over the course of the last 10 months? They had no problems calling out. Actually, Maxine Waters and Pelosi and Stacey Abrams and even Kamala Harris calling for it. If you see these people, these evil people in the restaurant, approach them, give them no peace. They went so far as to say that if you were a supporter of the president, that we're going to get you down the line, and it was okay then, and now all of a sudden it's not okay.
They've been calling for truth and reconciliation committees for Trump supporters to have to apologize for supporting him. I mean, big name politicians saying that the conservatives are enemies of the state and Republican senators are enemies of the state. This is Nancy Pelosi saying this, saying I'm surprised there's not more unrest on the street. Meanwhile, we had autonomous zones set up in the country, which by any standard of the history of America is almost treasonous, or is by definition treasonous.
Well,
and
if she wants to see uprising, all she has to do is walk down her own district in San Francisco. San Francisco's a mess.
Yeah.
Homelessness everywhere, crime is through the roof. You want to see unrest. She just needs to walk in her own district to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the whole like that's why it's kind of like it's weird how everything is just kind of inverted, right? You know, you have a situation where for months and months and months on end, people are being violently beaten, in some cases killed, targeted. You have businesses burning, you have cities on fire, you have people in their homes having people come in and throw Molotov cocktails in their homes, police stations being boarded up and set on fire with police inside in some cases. I mean, just absolute chaos, the worst kind of chaos possible. And it's underplayed, defended, and even in some cases encouraged. And it's tens of thousands of people. It's not like it was an isolated incident. This happens continuously. And then by comparison, you have what happened in Capitol Hill, which, yes, is wrong. But again, there are levels to how wrong something can be. The fact that the officer died is definitely tragic, unacceptable, and there's no, other thing to do than condemn it completely. But the scale of that event compared to the scale of the past year, it's two different worlds.
Of course.
And so,
Well, you had, the original, the way it started, you had, the reports anywhere between 300 and possibly as high as 650,000 people getting together and saying, this is wrong. We're here to protest the results. And then you had, I'm willing to bet there wasn't more than 70 or 80 people that actually breached the Capitol
Yeah, I
building,
think
right?
the highest number I heard is
That's
100.
right.
100.
So you had 100.
yeah, so 100 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, out of 70 plus million Trump supporters, it's interesting when you have tens of thousands of people rioting on the left, for Antifa or within Black Lives Matter. They don't represent Black Lives Matter. They don't represent the left. They don't represent Democrats. But you have 50 people, and this is happening constantly. They don't even have to apologize for it. They work as a unit, and they just all say, too bad, we're not talking about it. If you bring it up, you're a jerk, and they just shut you up. They censor you. But then on the right, if something happens that is magnitude less, the entire right falls apart, starts apologizing nonstop, saying it's demoralizing, turning on each other, allowing the left to push the narrative over and over and over.
Exactly.
Some kind of unique sense. And so it's the fault of Republicans for being so weak in terms of the, you can say it's wrong, and you can also bring up the entire history of what's happened to now and the incitement that's taken place from the left, and say, guys, we live in reality. We don't have short-term memories, because apparently everyone has a short-term memory. And actually stand up for what's right. So,
But now we're seeing, we're seeing the censorship as bad as it was the last 6-8 months, where certain news stations would only show certain things, certain social media platforms would only allow certain postings, and now you've got like Apple, and don't quote me, I don't know if this is as factual, but the stories coming out now are that Apple and even the Android phones are not allowing you to use the app Parler,
No.
because Parler is very
no, it's all
unrestricted.
real.
No, actually,
They shut down. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So Apple has threatened Parler. It has given an ultimatum saying if Parler doesn't come up with their strict ideals of censorship, basically, they will be deplatformed from the App Store of Apple. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy that even the walkaway movement was censored, which is nuts. I mean, the walkaway
Right.
movement has nothing to do. Like, they're just starting to censor everyone who's on the right,
Mhm.
who doesn't sit in line and say, okay, we're going to do whatever you say. That's why I feel like so many conservatives are so scared. They're just tucking their tails and they're like, whatever you tell us to do, we'll do. They did that during the violent riot.
Absolutely.
During the violent riot, a lot of politicians on the right, not the left, on the right, were very complacent and being like, "Oh no, we don't want to start a problem with this." Like, it's extreme bullying, I guess. I don't know where that kind of response comes from politicians who are unwilling to stand up and say like, "This is wrong."
Right.
But
Well, I think you're going to see that tenfold now. They basically said, the left has said, we're coming after you, right? So now you're going to have your outspoken conservatives may tone it down a little bit, but anyone that was on the fence, part of that team, like, yeah, I'm with you, is not going to take a step back and go, whoa, am I going to risk that? And no bills that I present ever. No one's going to want to work with me, and it's not going to be a good place to be.
And that's a problem because that's how the left will probably most likely take over, and that's it. That they'll do whatever they want to do. Like at some point, the right must stand up and fight back. Like,
well, you would hope, and you would think that would be a midterm issue, and I'm not even as optimistic with that's going to be the case, because I think you're going to see a lot of blowback, because the thing that nobody really is addressing is the fact that you still have 75 to 80 million Americans, which again, I don't know the exact number, but I'm sure that's got to be close to half of the voting age citizens of the United States. You have almost 80 million Americans that believe, not even that the election was stolen, they just believe that there's something off, and nobody's doing anything to quell those fears. Nobody's doing anything to address those fears. So what you're going to see happen at midterms is now those people are actually going to punish their Republican representatives, and you're not going to see any Republicans go. So it's actually going to get, I think midterms is actually going to get a lot worse. I think
that's what I said earlier. This country's done. It's done. It's done. I'm sorry to say that, but it's done.
Relax, Chris.
Well, I'll say this, that the Republican Party is fractured within itself. You have so many people turning on Trump right now. You know what really gets me the most, and why the Republican Party in many ways does kind of deserve to fail? A lot of the politicians who said we're going to challenge the election results came in that day to challenge the election results. The protests happened, the people came in, and all of a sudden they said, I can't in good conscience challenge the election results.
I heard that. I remember that. Yep.
If there was election fraud, like it's like saying I'm going to go in and I'm against abortion, let's say, right? So I'm going to go in and I believe that babies are being killed, and I'm going to go vote to make sure that babies don't get killed anymore. But then some pro-lifers come in and act, rude, like 50 pro-lifers, and I'm like, no, now I'm pro-choice all of a sudden. I'm like, what? Did your morals just switch in an instant? Like, if there was election
they're
fraud,
cowards.
These 50 people don't think that. It's very weird.
They're cowards. They're not weird. They're cowards. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, but that's why there's no Republican Party anymore. You have a fractured party. You have people who are abandoning Trump, and you have people who are supporting Trump. 50-50 down the middle. The left is united. That's one thing that they're amazing at. They don't care no matter. I mean, Warnock has a police record. His wife is on record for saying he ran over my foot and wouldn't let me leave the country to visit my dead grandfather, and is abusive, and is a great actor at hiding his abuse, and I've been covering it for years. The guy praises Farrakhan, who calls Jews termites and Satan, and Reverend Wright, and praises Fidel Castro, and yet no repercussion. I mean, they're very, very interesting in how they can do. And Hunter Biden's laptop is disappearing now. The story.
Oh, it's all going to everything's disappearing. But here's the thing, though. They had all the time in the world to expose that.
Yeah.
Which means either there was nothing there, or they weren't willing to take that step.
Well, listen, I think it's hard to imagine that there's nothing there. I mean,
there is.
Joe Biden himself will admit his son was a crackhead, and that's why. I mean, this is the beauty of anybody on the left lecturing Trump and talking about Trump's family and having issues with anything that comes out of Trump's mouth, or calling him a model, or criticizing him for not being a model. It's like, whoa, he said grab him by the pussy. Whoa. It's like, hey, guy, your son's a fucking crackhead. I mean, who are you giving advice to? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Children's show. I apologize. It's too early.
I'm giving you a little leeway.
I'll give,
I know you're a little upset today.
but I'm sorry. But it's so unbelievable, the hypocrisy, and you are 100% right. How unified they are. You have to give them credit. I mean, even with the nonsense that rolls out of AOC's mouth, I mean, they'll pop the choker chain on her a little bit, but they let her go, and they'll stand out there like nothing she's saying is off the wall.
They use her.
No, but but what he's saying is right. Like they will not publicly come out and be divided, no matter how Looney Tunes that bartender is. They'll stand there, and at best they won't criticize her. They may not endorse her, but they won't criticize her, where Elon's right. I mean, right now the Republicans, they're all over each other. Like it's ridiculous. And honestly, I think, more than being scared, more than being cowards, I think this was a concerted baptism to DC politics for Trump. I think, Trump has spent the last 4 years shitting all over career politicians and talking about draining the swamp and all this stuff. So these guys sat back and they said, okay, no problem. And they let him run his mouth. And then they rode his popularity, they being the Republican Party, they rode his popularity in a lot of districts to be elected, got elected, and then said, all right, fuck boy, now we got you. Then they turned their backs on him. And I think that's why you saw him go even for him, he was a little bit unchained the last couple of days.
He was swiping at Barr, and when Barr was leaving, he was swiping at McConnell, and
he's swiping at his own VP. So
Yeah.
I think that's where you saw the hurt was starting to come out because he realized they beat him. Mm-hmm. They beat him. They played him. He knew it, and now
politicians are politicians. That's
politicians,
what they do.
and they baptized him right to DC politics. They said, "Welcome," just because you thought you thought
The
we were
Holy
boys.
Trinity.
You thought we were boys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They're not gonna stop. They're gonna try and make an example out of him. They're gonna try and put him in jail for the rest of his life.
exactly. Yep.
Not only that, it's politics in general. It's part of it's like they're an entirely corrupt system, right and left. That's what this really brought light to. That the right is complicit because they don't have the balls to go against all the corruption, and they're a part of it. They want to keep getting their paycheck. They want to keep being involved in what they're getting.
Absolutely.
And so they're like little, like baby animals sitting in the corner being like, please just feed me. I don't care. I'll turn on my, my previous whatever, just so that. So Trump was an outsider. He didn't need money. He couldn't be controlled. He actually let the states run themselves, something that big government is very against. And during the coronavirus was an easy opportunity to take over the country. He didn't. And he did things that were actually, from a policy perspective, were unprecedented in a positive way. The Middle East, huge peace deals, all this stuff. And now we're going to get Biden again, who's going to start wars again and get everything going again.
But it's interesting to see how those peace accords go out. Right, the Middle East. It's curious to see, or is he going to undo what you call it, the when he moved the U.S. embassy,
The embassy in Jerusalem.
to Jerusalem,
Yeah.
into
He moved it to Jerusalem. He put it there.
from
They moved it to Jerusalem. It's going to be very, very sketchy if he pulls it out, because even during the Obama presidency, they said they would move it and just never did it.
they just never
So
did
to
it.
pull it out is a real act of like, okay. Well,
Honestly,
you're not,
I
we're
never
really-
expected from Trump. Honestly, like Trump did things that I've never expected. For example, make peace with North Korea. I never expected that from Trump. I expected for Trump to make war with North Korea. Instead, he did the opposite. Which
It's
I
because you
don't
like war. 'cause
Which
you're a
I don't think
sicko.
Obama or Biden or Bush have the balls to do what Trump did. Be face to face with Kim Jong-un in a DMZ zone between North and South Korea, shake hands, and speak. Honestly, I have to give credit to Trump for that.
Well, you were like 4 years old when Bush was president, so it's
I remember Bush, all right.
just saying. Christian.
But what I'm
Bush
saying
he's ever
is,
seen.
right now Pelosi, she's talking to a top military officials to prevent Trump to do a nuclear attack.
Yeah,
How scared are you? Like, Trump's not gonna do nothing.
They really shouldn't be having pressers anymore.
No,
It really
no.
should. They should be. I mean,
Concentrating on the transition of power, and
especially
that's that.
once he said it. But for law enforcement, it's going to be interesting, for me at least, to see. I mean, I think the first big test they're going to have. Forget their policies. Put all that aside. We know where that's going. I mean, they're going to have a hard time walking away from any of the defund people because that was their base. So it's going to be interesting to see how they backpedal out of that, which they're going to have to at some point. It's inevitable. You don't even have to be a law and order president to know at some point in time you're going to need law enforcement. They saw it firsthand down in D.C. But I think the first real test is going to be the George Floyd trial. They're not going to get murdered.
Well, look how quickly they flipped. Defund police, defund, deflect, deflect, and what were they calling for 2 days ago? Where are the police? We need more police.
Exactly. Yes.
It's going to be interesting to see though how these guys manage the chaos that's going to come from the George Floyd, because again, like I said, they're not going to get murdered. So now, what are they going to do? Are they
It's,
going?
it's out of their hands though. This is a local. It's not. Is it being
Right,
in federal?
but again, you're their base is going to look to them to, I don't know, take what kind of action. But then again, the way these guys act, their expectation levels, the stuff that they're proposing and putting out there, what is off the table? Who the hell knows?
Right.
There goes.
What
Oh,
went
it's
on
all
in
positive
Chicago?
shit.
What went on in Chicago today? The new proposition for what's going to happen with law enforcement. Did you guys see that?
No.
I heard
No.
something. I haven't seen it. I heard.
I saw it quickly. I don't know the details. I can look it up actually, but our friend Rob
Yes.
posted the details on it. They're just looking to take away all power from law enforcement at this point in Chicago. So I mean,
Not
in
surprising.
Illinois.
I mean, Chicago,
Not
you mean Chicago
surprising.
with 4,000 shootings last year?
Right,
Is that the same
right.
Chicago?
Not surprising.
They're definitely pushing.
What I don't get is why not? I mean, I hate to say this because I know like how much you guys do what you do regardless of what anyone says and all that stuff. But I mean, why not let people just experience the utopia they believe they can create and see what a mess it's going to be, and then come crying back? I mean,
That's-
it's unfortunately what costs a lot of
Yep.
lives.
That's
but, I
that.
mean, like,
Tommy's been saying that. He's been saying that for
Yep.
God months, and he thinks
Just give them a taste.
that's even from and actually one of the things he was saying actually already happened in New York. NYPD is no longer taking property damage only motor vehicle accident reports. They're not responding out. If it's property damage only, I guess they have the equivalent to a state reportable form in New Jersey, and they're leaving these drivers to themselves. And
It's not even that. In Dallas, Texas, the new chief is coming in. He's from San Jose, California, I believe. Okay. He turned around and he secretly got this initiative. He's not even an officer yet. They're working on this initiative, and they put it in through dispatch. There were, I'll tell you, there were about 7 or 8 crimes that they said we're no longer going to respond to. Where is it? Burglary, burglary of a car, runaway. Aided jobs.
Jeez. Well, aided was one of the ones.
Graffiti. What the hell is it? I put a whole note on that.
All those pages of notes for nothing,
No,
Tommy.
Exactly.
Here you go. So graffiti, reckless
crime
damage, burglary of a vehicle, criminal mischief, and then the governor Abbott got a hold of it, and he released a statement saying we will not allow this California-style lawlessness in Texas. Within hours, it was rescinded. So in Dallas, Texas, they were doing that exact thing that we spoke about for months. That slowly they're going to start taking away police duties. And the reason that they gave was that they thought they could increase or decrease the response time to more violent crimes and help the people that really needed it. Whereas the burglary of a car wasn't that big of a deal. Mischief, criminal mischief, graffiti, runaway, aided jobs.
But think of all the shit that. Well, first of all, burglary, to not respond to burglary, especially a burglary in progress. I mean, that's just
That's what they
outright
that's
fucking
what they
insanity. I
proposed.
mean, because especially if it's being called in, how are you distinguishing between burglary and a potential home invasion? Like
No, of a vehicle. So
burglary of a vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So someone goes in the car and you see it.
I was about to get up and just walk
Well,
out of here.
so-
I'm done.
So how do you know the difference, though? Is it a GLA? Are they going to steal the car, or are they just going to rummage through the glove box? And that's what they're saying. So you imagine you call 911, you look out, and some guy is in your car, and you call up and say, "There's a guy in my car. He's going through my glove box," and they say, "This is not a police emergency. Come to a precinct and file a report." I'd lose my mind because actually I'd get arrested because I'm going out there and I'm going to confront the guy.
Yep.
And this is Texas.
I'll take it in my own hands if that's the case.
Well, Chris, that would open
I
up your
will
seat.
do it.
That would open up your seat, Chris. Because
What are you going to hit him with a taco?
No.
Elon, just so you
want
know,
to.
Chris's side gig is a security job, and he has informed us that part of his details involve knocking someone out if they attempt to take any of the artwork. That's
He's
apparently in
he's
his.
authorized.
Yeah,
to knock
that's
someone
apparently in his SOPs
How do they-
somewhere in
How do
there.
they teach that move?
I'm not 100% sure.
Perform the Vulcan knockout maneuver. You pitch them in the neck and they pass out. Is that what you do?
So Elon, what do we do? I mean, there is no panacea for it, but how do we turn this around at least a little bit?
How do we? Are you asking me how we?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. What do you think? Give us something. We're out of ideas.
I'm hanging on every word.
Yeah.
So there's a few things. There's a few things that have to happen, in my opinion. One is we have to start fighting the culture war. So, like, I've been an actor in a lot of TV shows and movies. I've been in Hollywood for a while, and they really control the narrative. And so there has to be a counter narrative to that. So you can start swaying people and start making, like, there's no TV show that's going to come out that's pro-police right now. My buddy's on a TV show, and he's a white guy, and his entire character, and he's like a pretty well-known actor. His entire character is racist white cop who's against BLM, who's secretly like an abusive guy. And he was like, that's the only parts I'm going to get moving forward, so I'm doing it. I'm like, man, that's really just pathetic. Like that, so they're controlling the narrative, and you know, you have enough of that. You have it coming from politicians, from media, from social media, from everywhere. Then people are going to start believing whatever narrative they put forward.
Right.
It's why they can believe anything. You know, I talk to people, and I'm like, we are in two different realities right now. I'm in this reality, you're in that reality. I was having a conversation with 3 different friends of mine who are progressive yesterday. All 3 told me Antifa doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's made up by right-wing protesters, that secretly all violence is right-wing Nazis. They just live in another world. There's no middle ground. There's no conversation that can be had at this point. So you have to actually start fighting the culture war. That's step 1. Step 2 is companies like mine stepping forward and being like, listen, we're going to put out these messages. We're going to support what we believe. At this point, if you have companies like Shopify, Apple, Google, Twitter, Facebook, all very clearly being biased, why shouldn't companies who are on our side of the aisle be just as biased?
Because they're afraid.
But how do we get them to do that?
Because they're scared.
And why they're scared, though?
Well, we need to start.
You know why they're scared.
It's the same thing. If they don't fear that they're going to, so like, people are like, is everyone going to delete their Twitter account? Because technically everyone should. Everyone should delete their Facebook account. I mean, everyone who's on our side of the aisle should do this, should stop buying Apple phones. That's the honest truth. They've created a line in the sand, in my opinion. You're telling me you're going to censor me if I don't agree with you. You're going to censor everyone who's on my side of the aisle. You're going to do everything to damage our lives. You're going to try and censor things to sway elections. You're going to lie, cheat, and manipulate, whatever you have to do. These are big organizations. You're telling me that I should keep supporting you? Or I should take my money and start putting it where it matters.
But the other part of that, though, is like you say, social media, Facebook, they're all kind of in bed together. No matter what platform you're on, whether you're pro this, anti that, they find ways to get into you. You know, if you have a conversation with your buddy on the phone about, say cigars, and then 20 minutes later you go on Facebook and you're getting, well, not for maybe the tobacco because they don't like tobacco, but you're getting ads for that. Like they're controlling so much more than what people think they're controlling.
Our thoughts are narrated at this point.
And that's the problem.
You can't even have your own thoughts.
That's the problem.
Well, Holly, there's a documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma,
I saw
and
it.
it tells you how the algorithm works, how they throw ads
Because
based
they
on
built
what
it.
I need my tinfoil hat.
Did
These
you
guys
see,
built
Did
it.
you see that yet?
I've
You
seen
didn't
it.
see The Social Dilemma? You got to watch it with your wife and kids.
No.
Did you see it, Tommy?
I watched about half of it with my wife and my
What did
my
you
daughter. I didn't really have an opinion. It's true. You just watch it and you go, well, I really wasn't surprised by any of it. We know this has been going on for years.
Exactly.
For years.
And also,
how do you get away from it?
Even if you boycott Apple, Google is in the same game as well. All Android phones are with Google. If you realize that, right?
Right.
Google Chrome, Gmail, Google Maps. They're installed on every Android device. So it's like, where do you go?
But the flip side is if you had another platform, that platform would do the same thing. They just need to let you have your own thoughts.
Well, you just have to. You're making the point. You're saying Google and Apple. There's room for a third in there. There's, like you said, 70 or 80 million Trump supporters. There's more people, like internationally. There's billions of people who support freedom of speech, support more like conservative ideals, which are not really conservative ideals. The fact that I'm saying freedom of speech and identifying it with conservative ideals is a ridiculous statement, but that's the truth nowadays. I get emails from all over the world, Switzerland, people in Spain, Venezuela, all over saying this is what we believe, we're willing to fight for it. And they want to have companies they can support. If Google and Apple are going to do that, there's room for a third company. People have to start stepping up. There's room to make hundreds of millions of dollars. That's the honest truth. Like everyone is saying, oh no, this is a terrible thing. Whoever takes advantage of this, Parler is going to inevitably become worth absurd amounts of money.
Well, yeah, I mean,
All these other
hopefully,
Correct.
hopefully they respond in kind. Now, I don't know what again, I'm not savvy enough to know what the next
They
step.
responded.
Oh, they did already.
The CEO responded. He said he's never going to cave to left-leaning political pressure.
Well, Bezos tried it. Bezos tried the Amazon phone a few years back. It didn't make it. And if with his kind of money, if he can't do it, who's next? Musk? Does he step up and go, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll launch that platform. Like his table. His
I don't know,
plate
but you
isn't full
see-
enough?
No,
Yeah,
but
it's-
Elon Musk, he's more reasonable compared to Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey.
Didn't he
Oh,
name
yeah,
his
he
kid
did everything.
X?
Huh?
Didn't he name his kid X?
Who?
Elon Musk.
He have no kids.
How do you know, Christian?
Who am I thinking about that?
Why are you asking him a question?
I apologize. I don't want any problem. But it's funny. It's funny. Elon was talking about like all these other countries. I think it's Poland. I think so far has been like the most aggressive. Like they're threatening like their social media platforms and these companies with like millions of dollars per fine of fines per violation of what they view as censorship.
Well, here, Mike Freed.
let's move to
Mike
Poland.
Freed just chimed in and said that Trump is back on Twitter. They are just deleting what he posts. He's using the POTUS Twitter handle, official White House account, and Twitter says they cannot shut that page down. So he is responding from the White House Twitter handle right now. Don't know what he's saying, and I don't know how true that is, but Mike Freed's pretty tight.
Let me check that out right now.
Listen, it's scary and again, I keep cautioning people and telling them like, because the situation might benefit your side now, you might be celebrating and thinking this is a great thing. Yeah, fuck Trump. Take all his social media away. But like I had said,
Silence him.
or like I had said earlier, one of my favorite guys that I work with, and when I say it out loud, he'll know when he hears it. Always used to warn me right out of the gate. He said, "Don't look at how a sergeant or lieutenant or any boss treats you. Look at how they treat the other guy.
Yep.
Because if they can do it to the other guy, they can do it to you.
That's right.
It's just today's not your
Just
day.
not your turn.
So everybody out there celebrating, these big social media companies and all these people shitting on Trump because you might hate Trump. Well, guess what? Next year might be your guy. And then what? If you endorse it and you accept it now, don't cry to me later. I don't want to hear it. And that's the scary thing. Like, they don't realize they're so short-sighted. Yeah, fuck the orange man. I apologize, Tommy. Kids show. Please stop cursing, Tom. Screw the orange man, and they're giddy about it. But yeah, well, next week it might be your guy, and then what?
That's exactly.
What-
That's exactly.
You know,
what it is, though,
you know what I
because-
think
It's all right,
sometimes.
Christian. Go ahead. Just jump.
I'm
in.
sorry.
It's all right.
I'm
It's fine.
sorry,
It's no big deal. It's fine. Go ahead.
You know what I think sometimes is that we'll get to a point where that we will go back to print and word of mouth.
That's never going to happen.
I think we're gonna get to that point.
No,
or
no.
blogging, like have our own website
How?
hosted by Bluehost
How?
or whatever.
What enabled person coming of age in the younger generations is going to be looking to do more work? They don't know how to write cursive. They don't know how to tell
Wow.
time on a
That's-
regular clock.
That's true.
And then also parents, who's going to instill those values to go ahead and do more extra? Because now, unfortunately, it's like, what can I get away with to get my paycheck? How little do I need to do? They don't even want to get, unfortunately, most people don't even want to get up off their asses to walk. You
Yeah.
can order stuff. Like, why would you support, like, for example, where I work now, I'll go and choose a restaurant where I can go pick up the food to the best of my ability, because I don't want to keep ordering through Grubhub or whatever else, because these businesses are getting screwed having
Right.
all these fees taken out,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
But that's just my personal mindset. The I'm 1 out of 10, and the other people would just rather. And again, it's nothing against them; they have every right to feel however they feel. But
I know.
what about that? What about that? And that's exactly
Now-
the example for everything that we're talking
Now that
about.
you're speaking about that, have you heard about Uber and Lyft? They want to eradicate the idea of car ownership, right? They want the younger generation to be dependent on their services. Now I think about this. What if something really bad happens in this country, right? There's a civil war, it gets invaded, whatever, and you can't rely on those services no more. What are you
Well,
going
why
to do?
would you be allowed to have your own car when you're not even allowed to have your own thoughts? Make that make sense.
Yeah, I
Stop.
kinda agree with that.
You're waiting
Why-
for Chris to do that?
Can we make sure that
Make that
Christian
make
doesn't have his
sense.
own thoughts, please?
So
Dictatorship.
speaking of throwing support behind a company that's pro law enforcement, Elon, let me thank you personally for what you do.
Yes.
Again, the flagrant way you support law enforcement. Again, where these companies that have so much more resources and so much more power, for you to put yourself on the line like that is huge. Is huge. And again, we always say, when we get support from people that are supposed to do it, not that it doesn't mean anything, but you know what? My wife's supposed to like me. So if she doesn't, well, no, actually, let me rephrase it. My wife's supposed to pretend to like me. But when someone like you, especially again, willing to put your company on the line like that, that's huge. And again, hopefully, people fall in line behind you. That because you're 100% right. It's
Well,
go ahead.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like I have, first of all, I think it's pretty ridiculous that it's a big deal for a company to unequivocally support police, and say we stand behind police. I think that's something that any company should be able to do without fear. We're going to continue doing it, but I do it because I really just, first of all, was hoping it would have an impact for other companies to say, look, you can do this. If you just got to have a little bit of, excuse my language, you just got to have a little bit of balls and just be willing to stand up and put forth what you believe in. But the truth is, the downside is far worse. I mean, we're seeing the downside now. I mean, other companies have to come on board and start saying this is what we believe, putting out messages, videos, because again, that's what's happening on the opposition. Censorship, only one narrative. So if there's no companies, it's hard for someone to stop me from putting out my message. In other words, I don't have an employer. I own my company. It's my message. Whoever works for me, if they don't like it, too bad. And I am transparent with people. When people come and either through contracts or whatever it is, distribution, I tell them, look, this is what our company stands for. You either like it or you don't, but that's what we stand for. But in the end of the day, it's going to take a lot more companies because they're not limited. Parlor now is being censored because it's something that needs another company. We don't need anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty scary to see that happening to things like Parlor now, but it's more companies that are independent in terms of I'll get by fine if Twitter wants to ban me. I'll get by fine if you know what I mean? I can find places to advertise. I'm not worried about it. I'll make it work. There has to be other companies that are willing to take that stand and do that. Because then we're going to have nothing. We're not going to have police. We're going to have chaos. We're going to have, the society's going to decay. No more freedom of speech. I mean, we're heading there so quickly. So, I just think it's very sad.
Elon, I just want to personally thank you for leading from the front. I want to thank you for having the balls to separate yourself. And I want to ask you a question because I truly believe, as screwed up as things are right now, I choose to be optimistic. I choose to be hopeful. I choose to be an example for my children, and for anyone that feels hopeless. I mean, to try at least to separate ourselves. Would you agree that there's no amount of money that you could earn or revenue that you could generate through your business that would give you the feeling of peace that you have? Because I know you have this. There's no doubt in my mind. I just want to hear you confirm it. That you have when you put your head on your pillow at night and know that you're doing what's right, that you're doing what you believe to be right and just and true. Do you agree with that? And do you feel that when you lead as you are by example, by doing what's right and following your heart and being a really good person, that other people, because I truly believe there's so many people out there that are lost and lonely and afraid and that agree and that have the same mindset that we all do here. They're broken and they're terrified that hopefully they'll join your lead and realize that you can have a great business and feel good about doing what you do. How do you feel about that? Would you agree that that's the case, that when you put your head on the pillow at night, that because you do what you do the way you do it, there's no amount of money that could replace that?
Longest question ever.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. well, there's no amount of money that would make me change the things I'm doing. In other words, like if you told me, hey, you could run, and it's actually something like I think a couple of years ago, I got tired of everything, and I said, you know what? What's the most important thing to me? The most important thing to me is trying to have an impact, and what's the thing I can use best to do that? Like my acting career is out. I know that much. So I'm taking whatever money I make, and I'm putting it toward trying to make films and stuff that influence people and show them, hey, you don't need to be a part of Hollywood. So like I'm trying to create as many opportunities for people. I agree fully. I agree that yes, I go to sleep at night knowing that I'm living the values I believe in without fear, and that's important. But I do go to bed at night also a little bit frustrated because there's times where I feel, helpless, or I'm like, am I really even having any impact whatsoever? Is it like you feel like you're fighting a huge monster, but
I can.
Yeah, I had a buddy who told me, he was like, hey man, he's like, in the end of the day, that's what you do. You just keep trying until you're dead. He's like, you just keep trying. That's what you do. You don't give up, and that's how you move forward.
Well, listen, I can tell you right now what you did for our charity, and the impact you had on the Buckley family was immeasurable. So you ask yourself, are you really having an impact? Yeah. Yeah, you are really having an impact. Like I said, what you did for that family, and for those that don't know, Jim Buckley, who's in our group, Bergen County Pipe Band, his son had a tumor in his chest that was impacting his heart. So the charity got together along with the Pipe Band, Bergen County, and we raised money for Jim. And Ilan heard about it, got involved in that. And that was how all the Blue Line watches ended up showing up. That was part of a donation that Ilan had made to us, which in turn helped us raise thousands of dollars for that family when they needed it the most. So yeah, I mean, you should never be asking yourself that. I mean, you are making direct, tangible impact. The kind of impact that this younger generation doesn't understand. Like this younger generation thinks that they have 15,000 Facebook friends. They have 15,000 friends. They don't got shit. Correct. And this younger generation thinks because somebody looks at their Instagram 30 million times that they got 30 million friends. They don't got shit. You have actual tangible evidence that the way you're conducting your business, the way you're living your life has had an immeasurable impact on somebody. And listen, not everybody has that. Not everybody can say that. And that's something that they can't take away from you. And again, like you said, it's sad that that's not the norm, but it's still undeniable that that's not the norm. Businesses they've lost that touch. From customer service down. Try getting a live customer service agent. Good luck.
And also, Ilan, one last question for you, and I'll make this quick, Tommy.
Yeah, make it a short question, Holly. Jesus.
Condescending pricks.
Leave her alone. God damn it.
Whatever. I don't care. I'm done with these guys. Anyway.
Oh, my drink is empty. Why is Holly?
No, I'm not your
if Holly's in the other room, I
I'm
get
not
a drink
waitress.
right now.
You mentioned your acting career being over. Is that because of your stand, or is it just a choice that you've made not to continue in that?
I'm still doing it, but I know, look, I have my podcast, which I'm obviously quite politically transparent in, and I have my company, and I try to keep both worlds separate because, like I said, Hollywood is so biased one way,
Ass
and I just don't care anymore, and I know that that's gonna, I was a lead actor on a Netflix show for a while, I was a recurring actor on Walking Dead. I've had a good career. I mean, I'm happy with it. But I know that if the two kind of collide, it's a decision, one or the other.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, well, that's fine. I already made my decision. So I'm not even worried about my acting career anymore. I'm going to go, I'll create my own films. I'll get other people involved. In the end of the day, I always liked acting because it was a way for me to express what I believe, and it stopped being that, very quickly in the past few years. So,
Hook up with Jimmy Woods. Hook up with Jimmy Woods. He'd love to work with you, man. I love Woods, man. He's crazy. I love him. James Woods?
Yeah.
Woods.
James Woods.
Oh, yeah. James Woods is definitely hardcore.
Yeah, he's,
No.
Get Woods, get the Nuge involved.
There is not giving a fuck, and then there's not giving a fuck, and those guys are just
Yeah, he's a whole other category.
he is
He's
brutal.
just out there saying whatever he wants to say.
He gets it. He gets it.
Yeah, but you need exactly. And he needs but look at his career. He has no career anymore. He needs a platform where people hire him and say, listen, we're going to hire you. We're not going to hire the guy who's going out and bashing police and being celebrated in the Oscars for it. Like that, like as if that takes. They act like that's like, oh my God, you're so brave. You came in front of a room of people who agree with you and you bashed police. You're so brave. I'm like, no, the guy would have gone into that room, the Oscar room, and said, listen, it's time we start celebrating police again. It's time we start celebrating American values again. It's time we stop being so race obsessed. Like, let's get over all of this and let's start moving forward as a country. The guy who says that has balls.
Yep.
No one's willing to say that.
Yep.
That's the person who's brave.
No,
So it's
Well,
like
thank
an
you,
echo chamber.
Elon.
And they're fortifying the echo chamber. They're making it now. They're just saying, well, we'll just straight up censor you. We don't even
Yeah.
care anymore.
yeah, we'll shut your page down. We'll kick you off and cry about it.
So, Elon, your egardwatches.com is the website. Every time I go on there, a lot of your stuff is sold out because you're a quality product and you're doing it right. So that's amazing. We're so happy that the company is successful. And the YouTube channel, Egard Watches YouTube channel as well, where we can catch your videos.
Well, the YouTube channel is where the Egard YouTube channel, and obviously I changed the Speak Truth thing to the news side because I was going to have some a buddy of mine who's a really smart guy come on there and just make it more of like a platform for some other people. But yeah, we're putting our messages through Egard and through the.
And tell us a quick blurb about the podcast. What's it called and where can people watch it?
The podcast I'm doing, it's called The News Side. It's currently on YouTube.
The New Side.
Again, say my same thing. What's that?
The New Side.
The News Side. Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Now, people that had subscribed to because I said you said you renamed it. The people that had subscribed to the Speak Truth, are they automatically subscribed to the new side, or is it actually that's a separate channel?
It's a channel. Just changed name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Christian, you gonna put that in there?
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Yeah, because we're putting them all. Yeah, we're gonna put.
EgardWatches.com.
Go ahead.
EgardWatches.com. You got that?
Yeah,
Yep,
he's got
I got
that on
that.
there.
Okay.
Egard Watches.
All right.
You're going to do the
Yeah,
podcast too, Christian?
If you guys wanted to share anything, it would mean a lot if you guys shared the video I just put out today. I mean, I would love
definitely.
for you guys to watch it and let me.
Freedom?
Yeah, definitely. No,
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna put that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Elon, thank you so much. We got Boots telling me I got to wrap it up. This is great. I mean, obviously you've been doing this for a while. You get it, and we need more people like you, honestly, and
Yes.
not from a police perspective, but from a patriotic perspective to say,
And a
hey,
human
what's going on
perspective.
is not right. It's great that that the police officers are getting the support where we need it most from regular folks like yourself, and try to get the country back on track. So. We're all trying to do our part. You're doing a little bit more than most, and it's very much appreciated.
3 words, Elon.
Thanks.
Please don't stop. We need you.
Yes.
You give us hope.
That's not 3 words.
Holly, that was way more than
You
3
said
Both
words.
of you
words.
guys, Elon, tell him to kiss my ass, please. Stop
Guys,
it.
go out and throw the money where it belongs, guys. Please, EgardWatches.com.
I'll be buying one soon.
All right,
Attaboy.
Elon. Thanks so much, brother.
Thanks,
you.
Elon.
Take care.
You have a good night. And the booth is going to take us out. Or not. All right, I'll try it again. And the booth is going to take us
If you are searching for a doctor that truly cares about your overall health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. For more than 11 years, Dr. Alex has been treating law enforcement professionals and their families while focusing on one-on-one care so you never feel rushed. All necessary testing can be conducted during your visit, and they feature flexible hours and appointments to accommodate alternating work schedules. Tri-State Health and Wellness is conveniently located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Contact Dr. Alex today by visiting www.bluetristate.com. Mortgages for everyday heroes. From Michelle Hendershot and Homebridge Financial Services. If you're looking to purchase a home, or refinance an existing mortgage, Michelle Hendershot can assist you every step of the way. With over 10 years of experience assisting law enforcement officers with their dream of owning a home, the choice is simple. Contact Michelle Hendershot today. Visit www.mortgagesforblue.com. Are you tired of sleeping alone each night? Feeling sluggish during the day? Is your snoring keeping your spouse awake at night? If you find yourself spending too much time on the couch, maybe it's time to visit Dr. Michael Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is the preferred sleep apnea doctor of New Jersey's law enforcement officers. With the help of a custom-fitted oral device, you can finally say goodbye to noisy, antiquated sleep apnea machines. For more information and to schedule an appointment today, contact Dr. Michael Doblin. Visit www.bluesnore.com. Moment of Silence, Inc., along with Blue Suicide, is a nonprofit organization founded to support and raise awareness about the epidemic of suicides amongst law enforcement, military personnel, and first responders. For more information on how you can help, visit momentofsilenceinc.org. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or a certified used vehicle, then visit Fetty Auto Group, located at the junction of Route 46 and Route 3 in Clifton, New Jersey. Fetty Auto Group stands shoulder to shoulder with the men and women in blue. Stop by and ask for Troy Mall and ask about the offers for first responders. For more information, visit FettyAuto.com. That's FettyAuto.com. The Blue Magazine, the law enforcement publication by law enforcement professionals for the men and women of law enforcement. The unfiltered voice of law enforcement. TheBlueMagazine.com. Are you patrolling with the pig? If not, you're doing it wrong. Check out all the newest swine swag at ProudPig.blue. They are dirty by design. Check it out now. Visit www.proudpig.blue for all your swine swag. Visit www.proudpig.blue. Resumes by Joe. Owned and operated by retired NYPD second grade detective Joe Federa. With over 20 years of professional resume writing experience and focusing on translating what we do as cops into language that the corporate world can appreciate. We put an emphasis on ensuring that your cover letter and resume will be best received by the applicant tracking system used by most companies today. Check out our website at www.resumesbyjoe.com or call Joe directly at 347-992-4523. Don't forget to ask about the 50% discount for BBO members and most unions across the country. Give us the job of helping you get the job. Contact Resumes by Joe today. If you're a member of the law enforcement profession and are looking to establish long-lasting business relationships with businesses that are blue-friendly, it's time to visit visitblue.com. Visitblue.com features some of the best doctors, lawyers, realtors, as well as other service providers, such as home improvement and financial services. If you are looking for reliable, trustworthy service providers, visit visitblue.com. That's www.visitblue.com. Founded in 2014 by retired NYPD police officer Michael Burke, Brothers Before Others is a national 501c3 law enforcement charity comprised solely of both sworn and retired police officers. Since their inception, Brothers Before Others has sent floral arrangements to the services of all line-of-duty deaths, regardless of where in the country they occur, having spent over $350,000 to date. While the National Flower Fund remains their cornerstone, their benevolence has since grown well beyond that, even into the civilian world. For more information on how to get involved or to donate, visit brothersbeforeothers.org, or you can visit their public forums on all social media platforms by searching Brothers Before Others. Founded in 2016 by professional musician Neil Giraldo, 3-Chord Bourbon has developed a process that is defined as the perfectly tuned taste, blending using carefully selected whiskey bourbon and rye whiskey stocks from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. Designed to be enjoyed with friends and family, 3-Quart Bourbon will leave you with the same feeling you experience after hearing that perfect song. You'll know their whiskeys are right from the very first sip. For more information on 3-Quart Bourbon and available merchandise, visit 3quartbourbon.com. Line of Duty Cigars, owned and operated by retired NYPD Detective Tom Werther. Visit lineofdutycigars.com for our handmade Nicaraguan cigars, custom ashtrays, custom humidors, and custom flask sets. Also, when you place an order, you choose the law enforcement, first responder, or veteran charity, and Line of Duty Cigars donates 10% to that organization. Planning a special event? Contact us today. Visit www.lineofdutycigars.com. And now, back to the Blue Room Podcast on the BlueBroadcastNetwork.com.
On. Oh, there it is. Wow.
Hey, what's up?
We're back.
Where's Jacob?
Yeah,
Einstein.
we miss him. We miss him.
Einstein has the synapse of a Connie Corso.
Einstein might listen. His shit might, your shit might fly on Burke show. All right, it doesn't fly here. I'm just saying.
Yep, buddy. Yep.
Oh, easy, back up.
Back
Back from
So-
there you go.
You don't have to suck started.
We're gonna. Elon, Egard Watches, great, always great guest.
Yes.
He's such a huge supporter of what we're doing, and putting, like I said, putting his company on the line and risking people saying "screw you, I don't want to buy your watch because of your political views." That's brave. He talks about the actors that turn around and say, "Hey, I'm going to go against the norm and I'm going to do something the way I want to do."
Right.
Is brave. As a small business owner, I own a small cigar company called lineofdutycigars.com. Yeah,
boy.
so I get it. That putting that
boy.
small business.
Never heard of her.
So yeah, that's all. That's great. But I did promise Josh.
Well, no, it's
boy.
it. Stop. It'll be a minute or less. I think. No, my thing is this.
Oh wait! I'm going to present it properly.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Can I
Present the
check my
problem.
oxygen
In the
level?
words,
Thanks.
in the words of the great Peter Griffin, what grinds your gears?
Oh my God.
a lot of shit grinds my gears. But this is specifically, all right. So everybody saw everything that went down at the Capitol building yesterday, and now we're going to talk from a law enforcement standpoint, because after all, this is a law enforcement show. So Chris, shut your mouth. So, you look at what went down, and you see a lot of these guys because, all right, let's be real, not all cops are pro-Trump. That's okay. There's no problem with that. So you see, all of a sudden now, people's colors are starting to come out now, and now they're all starting to
Can't
get
say
their
color.
yeah, a woman,
Hugh.
a man,
Hugh.
yeah, Hugh.
Their hue was coming out.
Their true feelings are starting to come out because they feel empowered now. Now, regardless of whatever their union endorsed or whatever is sane for a police officer to support, now they're feeling empowered to come out. So a lot of the things you're hearing, and it's not just from cops, but it is kind of, I have to address it, to cops, because there's a lot of them that have had a little bit of apathy towards some shit. Because the thing you hear yesterday, and I've been hearing for the last 48 hours, is, oh, well, aren't you outraged? Oh, we're outraged. Motherfucker, I've been outraged for a decade. Where have you been?
What?
I was outraged in 2016 when 5 Dallas cops were assassinated protecting a Black Lives Matters march. Where was the outrage then? Where were all your calls for concern over our democracy? I was outraged and worried about our democracy when Win Jin Liu and Rafael Ramos were shot sitting in their fucking car. I was outraged then. I was worried about our democracy then. I was outraged when Amy Caprio was run the fuck over when she addressed a stolen vehicle driven by a burglary getaway driver. I was outraged then. I was concerned for my democracy then. I was outraged when NYPD cops were getting buckets of fucking water thrown on their head, buckets thrown at them while they're trying to effect an arrest. You weren't worried about your democracy then? I was worried about our democracy when cops were chained in our own fucking police department, treated as hostages in their own police department.
For 7 hours.
I was outraged. I was worried about my democracy. I was outraged watching cities, fuck cities. I was outraged watching police departments burn to the fucking ground. You weren't worried about your democracy then? Now suddenly you want to get balls. Oh, aren't you outraged? Fuck you. I've been. Where the fuck have you been? No, but you're going to get people like Schumer standing in front who, in the face of all these Black Lives Matters protests, in the face of all these Antifa who they say, oh, they never existed, he's going to say, well, you know, we don't really condone the violence, but we understand the frustration. Yeah? Oh, but now suddenly you're going to question me because apparently I'm not outraged enough. Or, and I'm not going to call him out because I love the guy, and he knows I love the guy. And when I say it, he's going to know that I'm referring to his fucking post. And I swear to God, it's not personal. It's really not. He knows I love the guy. But a cop is saying, oh, well, if there's a but in any of your view on what happened yesterday, then you endorse this.
Well, no. First of all, no cop endorsed what happened yesterday.
Exactly.
Well,
I don't have me, least of all, especially to the people that know me. I don't have to justify that. Obviously I don't endorse what happened yesterday. That's fucking insanity. That's insanity.
A cop was killed. Any cop that could even
obviously
partially say yes, there's a button there. A cop was killed in this.
But my frustration is that all of a sudden there's this, unanimous fucking outrage. Where has this been for the last decade?
Well, it gets pushed to the side. The mainstream media doesn't play it. The politicians don't shout at that. We do, and that's it. Now this, and all of a sudden we're all supposed to be, holy God, I can't believe this happened. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't outraged by it. I was disgusted by what happened at the Capitol building, but right up to the point where they breached the Capitol building, I wasn't outraged at all. I wasn't even upset. I was proud. I was glad to see 500,000 people descend on Washington D.C. and say we're against these election results. We're doing it. The minute the first person breached that Capitol, that's it. There was a cop was murdered. The woman who was shot climbing through the window to get into the Senate chamber, she wasn't murdered. She was killed. There was a cop that was murdered, who was attacked, and the injuries he sustained caused his death. That's murder.
Listen,
that protester getting shot, a horrible thing, was not murder.
If you wear a shield, if you love someone that wears a shield, if you support people that wear a shield, and you haven't been scared for our democracy before yesterday, you're either a hypocrite or you've been living in a hole.
Word.
That's the plain reality. If you are just starting to pay attention now because of 100, not thousands, not tens of thousands, if you're just starting to pay attention because 100 people were dancing around the Capitol building, you've been sleeping. You've been sleepwalking. And your outrage is fake. You're fake.
Guys, 219 Blue Room, if you agree with any of this, if you disagree with any of this, well, I tell guys all the time, it's a pro-police show. But if your opinions differ than anyone else in here, we love to have that conversation. Maybe you can enlighten me to something, or anyone else in this room to enlighten one of us to something that maybe we're not aware of or we're not seeing. You see it in social media all the time. I don't unfriend people in any of my platforms because we have a difference of opinions. I unfriend you if you're disrespectful, or if every single post is race this, race that, race this, race that. I'm so open to open discussion and debate. I would love, I tried desperately to get a Facebook friend to call in today.
I thought the sentence was going to stop there.
No, to have this
I
conversation.
tried desperately to get a Facebook friend.
I brought Tom.
Conclusion.
I brought Tom from MySpace over. Well, he was my first friend.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's a video.
Can I finish?
Okay,
fine, thanks.
Go ahead.
So if you want to call in and have that discussion for any of this, against any of that, or anything else law enforcement related, dude, guys, pick up the phone. You're sitting at your desk. You're sitting in your RMP. You're hanging out. You're watching what we're doing. You're listening to what we're doing. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Also, here's what I saw on Twitter yesterday, right? There's a video showing Capitol Police opening the gates and let these people into the Capitol.
Oh,
Without resistance. There's a video, Josh. I'm just
No,
saying.
we are not questioning police procedure. That's,
Chris, I'm
we're not doing
gonna
it.
say this to you again, and I said it to you
In the chat.
the other night. I said it to you in the chat. I will not let you. I will shut you down every single turn. I will not let you do what we fight against, which is make determinations and criticisms based off of a chopped and screwed clip that you don't have no idea the context of that video. Like, there's video of the cops running up a flight of stairs with the crowd following them. People are spinning that as though the cops are leading. Those cops are running for their fucking lives. They're not leading the protesters into the
I'm
building.
not saying that, but I'm saying I'm
telling you
I'm
is
just telling
what-
you what I saw so far.
I understand, and what I'm telling you is because again, I see where your brain is going with that.
There's a
It's
brain in
almost it's almost like, not insinuating, but implying that eventually there's gonna be, oh, well, the cops let these protesters in.
Can I
Thick
jump in?
candy shell.
Yes.
So, Christian, basically what he's saying is you can't come to a determination or a conclusion on how you feel about something when you only see a part of the story.
Right.
Right? And we weren't there. So it may look a certain kind of way, but we don't know. I mean, I have my own opinion about things, but we don't really know what went down. We just don't. So and the conversation about it, conversation about it is doing nothing but fuel the fire. So it's not.
Apologize.
Oh, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
that's the problem.
But the Christian's defense, I see what Josh was saying is that you knew exactly where Christian was going with it.
Yeah.
But he didn't
and
get to say it
we
yet.
didn't get it because we knew where it was going.
Yeah.
Opinions are great, an open discussion, but not here. When we go to break or afterwards, and we want to have that discussion in there, we can have that. But to where that question was going was leading to why did that happen? Why would they? And we don't know because we weren't there. We don't know what orders were given. And again, our job, we spend so much time defending each other from the mainstream media, from people that hate us. And then the first option we get, and I say we collectively, and not everyone, but I'm in a lot of NYPD groups, and I have seen a lot of the attacking of it. And I go, why would you? And that's what's so great about BBO. That discussion would never happen.
Never.
On Brothers Before Fathers. Never. That's not our job.
Nope.
Our job, have an opinion and a healthy conversation is great. I won't have it in Facebook. I'll do it face to face with my buddies. I'll have a discussion and I'll tell them the same thing that we're talking about. We don't Monday morning quarterback anybody. We don't know what happened. We're only showing a small clip. Hey, if Ferguson didn't teach us that, remember the unarmed guy that
Yeah.
was shot in Ferguson?
Yeah.
Hey, remember the unarmed guy in Kenosha? Guess what? They weren't armed. And everybody jumped. And if you didn't learn your lessons from just those two of the many incidences to say, take a step back, let's give our brothers and sisters the benefit of the doubt and see how it plays out. If they were wrong, they will have to pay for it.
Plus, I worry again. A big thing of what we do here. I worry about their mental health. All right. I mean, first of all, from a pride standpoint, if you don't think that's fucking with them now, how many cops, regardless of where you work, how many cops have gotten their ass beat in a fight and they feel like they let the next guy down? Like, oh, fuck. And they're apologizing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, motherfucker, it's going to happen. It's all right. Like, it's okay. No, you don't understand. Like, I'm sorry. That shouldn't happen. So if you don't think from that standpoint, guys are already in that mindset.
Sure.
Right. And then, you look at the guy, and again, this is where my head goes. You look at the guy that shot that girl. All right, listen, again, not even second guessing. We all know the way, I mean, obviously he's a non-uniformed personnel. No disrespect, but we know
Well,
how
that day. We don't even know if he's a regular uniform guy that was assigned that detail.
I mean,
that day.
there's let's just for argument's sake say, hey, this guy, he had nothing to do with what was going on outside, right? We have no idea who he was protecting, who he was with, who was on the other side of that barricaded door, which they obviously barricaded for a reason. You don't know who was in that room. So let's just say, put yourself in that guy's position. He hasn't seen anything. All he knows is he's in arguably the most secure building next to maybe the Pentagon, next maybe the White House, but the most secure building in Washington, and he's hearing on his earpiece radio that the building's been breached.
Right.
Okay, has no idea the weapons, nothing, and then maybe hypothetically they get orders, whatever position you're at, defend that by any means necessary.
Right,
Okay,
of course.
now they're at that door. All he doesn't know who's what on the other side of that door. All he sees is 50 to 100 people that somehow managed, because he doesn't know how the fuck they got in there. Did they get in there by killing somebody? Did they get in there by running? I don't know.
Exactly.
And now he's in that
I know.
office doing what? And what happens? The girl tries to climb through. Now that guy has to live with the fact that he killed an unarmed military vet. That's what I worry about.
And we
That's
don't
what
even-
I don't even get to the
But
why.
I wouldn't even use the word unarmed.
I don't.
We know nothing about this. We know what we're seeing on the computer.
I don't-
All the video
Yeah.
we see is from the hallway side where the aggressors are. That's the
Right.
only video so far.
Right.
Now there might be video from the Senate side. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah,
everything
we'll
that
probably
everything-
never see it.
Yeah.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, I mean, we know he wasn't, but for argument's sake, let's just say, what if Pence was in that office? And that guy's job, your only job is to protect that man. And now
Right.
the group that's outside is starting to climb through that window. Ah, fuck, no. No, they're not.
Right. He's not taking any chances.
But now, again, I might forget policy, what happened, forget all that. Instantly, I go, that guy's got to fucking live with that. Right? No different than what went down with Aaron Dean in Texas, right? Fort Worth, Texas. Here's a guy investigating a burglary, or what he believes to be a burglary, and ends up shooting an armed homeowner who was pointing a gun at him when he came around a blind corner. Saw her with the gun pointed at him out the window and shot her. You think he fucking he doesn't have to live with that? He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do a fucking thing wrong. It was a tragedy. But he's got to live with that. So that's where my head goes. So when you see these videos, and that's why I get so angry, and I apologize for getting so angry at you, but when you do what we sit here for 2 hours a day, every time, at least 2 hours a day, because we don't run a Burke 4-hour show all the time, at least 2 hours a day fighting that exact thing, that shit makes me mental when you do that, because you're taking these little chopped and screwed clips, and like Tommy said, there's video, I'm sure, from every angle, especially in that building, that we may see, we may never see, we don't know, but that's just it, we don't know. So in here, in this space, it's empathy for the cop more than it is.
And what did we say on the phone the other night, Josh? The same thing when you felt that frustration. It wasn't really directed at you, Christian, is what it represents. It represents all of society, everyone jumping on the bandwagon. You think at this point, society and human beings would have learned by now to shut the hell up for maybe just 5 minutes to get some sides of the story, right? Because we said it before. All of our thoughts are being orchestrated, right? Everything. I went to get tube socks for my kids on Kohl's.com, and next thing you know, it's streaming. The exact socks are streaming on Facebook, okay?
Right.
So we don't think everything's being orchestrated. So it's not you personally. We love you. We're all family here. But it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating that people, and it's so trendy now. How many times we had to say in the group, okay, we know what's going on. You don't have to be the first. Now, because there's so much information coming out in real time, everybody has to be the next trend, the biggest trend.
Be the first
first
one to report it.
Oh, I was the one that brought it to everyone. We don't know what that'll happen. We all need to. We all need to, as society, as human beings, to shut the hell up. Because several years back, before social media, people didn't have anything to say because they didn't know. And oh, by the way, the news was the news back then. There's no news now. Facts aren't even facts anymore.
Exactly,
So,
I know.
It's the race to be
am I
first.
wrong though, Josh?
No, it's the race to be first.
These comments, the frustration comes from what it represents, because that's what people are doing. Everyone's running.
And that's exactly you see on Twitter. Like people always show up that video. Oh, the cops let them in. Why nobody's talking about this? Blah blah blah.
More importantly, she calls you? 'Cause
Yeah.
she doesn't call me.
Stacy's there, his wife.
Actually, I should be knocking on
I
wood.
called you once.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
got-
yeah. You called me once. You said I need bullets.
See, this-
yeah,
this-
I feel so special.
Do you see the way this is going to play out now? Now, you said she never calls you. She is going to call you now, and you're
Tommy.
not going to answer. And then
Tommy.
you're going to.
I'm going to change my number as soon as I walk out the door.
So
I'll give you your show back, Tommy. I apologize. I just had it when Elon was
I know,
talking
I
about
know.
that earlier in the lack of condemnation. I can never say that.
Condom?
Condemnation.
Condemnation. All right.
Welcome to Condemnation.
New plug.
Comden.
Not a butt plug. A regular plug.
My wife actually worked at a store down on Bleecker Street called
Condomania?
Mania. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
She was going.
What's all there? Never.
Hi, Mrs. Werther.
Sounds interesting.
That's my mother, you sick bastard. My wife is Miss Steinberg.
Like I said, I just heard, when Elon was talking about that, and it's easier to hijack it from you than his time, so I hijacked a little bit of your time, and I apologize.
No, I'll just sit here.
It's been bubbling for a couple of
I'll
days.
just sit here.
But it has to do not even with what's happening right now. It's just, shut the hell up, my God.
Well, like I said, I mean, I've been pissed off for. We all have been, and we've been sitting here.
Pissed
You
off,
could go
pissed
back.
on.
It's been a steady decline.
You go
for
back
longer
and you
than
go
we
back
can
in our
remember.
shows, and you can see a steady pattern of how pissed off we've all been. So now I'm seeing people who didn't have cock to say this entire time.
Now
Civilian.
Now they're fired up.
Civilian and sworn are like, oh, this is the death of America.
I
This
had a
is-
friend
I'll
today
get the fuck
say
out of here.
about her outrage at what just happened, and somebody brought up all the stuff that happened for the last freaking year about the world burning to the ground, and she actually said, and she it's crazy. She actually said, well, no one was killed. Holy shit! No one was killed. What are you talking about?
So yesterday,
God.
yesterday they're worried about the death of America, but when the two LA sheriffs were shot, one
how many
one
citizens?
bleeding from her fucking face,
Right.
The other one, while she's tourniqueting another cop, there's a whole group around them filming them, laughing.
Yep.
Nobody rendering aid. So nobody was. I apologize, Tom.
I'll just back up from the mic.
Nobody was concerned then. You weren't worried then. That's what I'm saying. This shit, it has me so.
Well, I think it's selective outrage. It's
absolutely
Selective
it's popular. Oh, it's popular. Oh, it's so horrific. Fuck out of here. Horrific shit, like Elon said. Horrific shit has been happening. I mean, since time immemorial. Horrific shit's been going on. Go to DC and you can look at the wall, and horrific shit's been happening since the first cop.
But it's
pinned the
okay because it benefits your agenda.
Right. That's just what it's really especially when I see it coming from cops. That's what really bends me out of shape. It's like, dude, this is what you're choosing to get emotional about. Oh yeah, now you get a free pop shot at Trump, and they're gonna say, oh yeah, they get.
Yeah.
Dude, if I can't go on your social media page and see all this outrage that you've had over the last fucking year, you can fuck off because it's. Apologize, children's show.
No, it's 9:30. It's good. The kids are.
Oh,
in
yeah,
bed.
the kids are in bed already.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's the truth. I mean, if you haven't been concerned for our democracy when it's been okay to
It was acceptable.
I shouldn't say okay. Obviously, it's not okay
No, but I
from
think-
a societal
I think a
from a
lot-
societal standpoint. It's I don't think anybody would say it's okay to kill. I mean, anybody that would.
But they wouldn't
Well,
get.
they
They wouldn't get.
chose
No,
it.
but they
Didn't
wouldn't
they
get
choose
vocal.
that?
They wouldn't
But-
get vocal
Right,
about it.
right.
They wouldn't show their outrage. They wouldn't. We'd be reposting everything. It's all. I believe that most of society supports police, but they don't take it to the level that we take it as law enforcement. They're not going to go up there and go, "This is outrage. This is ridiculous. I can't believe." I have lots of friends that I know support police that did not post, rest in peace to the officer that was killed in the Capitol 2 days ago, or on any other line of duty deaths. It's
And
not,
I mean,
it's
and
not,
listen,
it's
and-
not what's important to them, though. It's not.
And
It's kind of the cost of doing business. Oh yeah, a couple of cops got killed. All right, next. I'm not outraged by it. Sucks, and I don't. They won't condone it, but they're not going to stand up there and fight against it. You choose the things that you're passionate about, and they're the ones that you stand up on that soapbox
Yep.
and you hoot and holler about it.
Yeah.
I believe.
You can have your show back, Tommy.
100%.
How do I lighten this up? Gee,
I
Josh, thanks.
feel better.
Ooh, hold on, wait.
Condemnation.com.
Burke's already got that website locked up.
He'll sell it to you. He'll sell it to you.
Condemnation. Good news. Let's talk about some good stuff.
Please, for the love
Oh
of all
yes,
things good,
yes.
please,
I've
please.
heard about the Kenosha officers.
Oh, you tell the story then.
Yeah, so the police officer of Kenosha that were involved in the shooting of Jacob Blake will not get charged for what they did.
Nice.
Good job.
And
Look at
not
him.
not
Way to
only
go.
are they not getting charged, but the DA, who had, and I wouldn't even say the DA's got balls. The DA did his job.
Right.
Stood up there in that press conference and debunked each and every aspect of what these guys were accused of. no weapon involved, no crime was being committed, the officers weren't in danger. They've debunked all of that, and yet there are still some media outlets that refuse to retract any part of their original reporting, and the excuse that they're using is that we reported the news based upon the information we had at the time, even though the information that you had at the time was completely false. So the information that we had right now at 9:30. Okay, ready, mainstream media. It's 9:34. Patterson, New Jersey. Has just been,
9:31 actually.
can I finish the fucking thing? Has just been attacked by aliens. Okay, it's not confirmed. There's no one else saying that the aliens are here in Patterson. Except, except for the one sitting next to me. They're not going to report that because that doesn't sell papers. And now they won't go back on that.
Tommy, can you get me some ice in my drink, please?
I'll get you ice. I can melt that ice for you.
but
You're not going to want the drink when I'm done with it, though.
but let's be honest though. Let's be honest. If
I
you're-
would appreciate that. So I guess we've been lying the rest of the time.
no, but
I hate that saying. Can I be honest with you? I would
No,
really
but-
appreciate
Can I
that.
still be Johnny Blue?
let's be honest here though, right? If the cops are draw their guns at you, right? Why would you go back into your car?
Christian, we're not arguing the actual event.
No,
We're
I'm just
it doesn't
saying though.
matter.
Any cop will react like that, you know.
It's not even that. This was a happy piece, Christian, that the cops are not
There's a
being
happy
charged.
piece.
I
This is a
know.
happy
Okay,
piece.
so
even
let's stay on
He's
the
a happy
positive.
What
here.
I'm saying is the cops did what they had to do. That's what I'm saying.
We're not defending the cops' actions here. We're not defending the cops' actions.
How
It's
can you
over.
defend anything
my
or
pulse
have
off.
You
any?
can't.
You weren't there.
The
you weren't there.
the problem what's happening now, and we're seeing it. We've seen it so many places, and we saw it in Kenosha, is that due process is going out the window. I honestly believe that the officers in Kenosha, they dodged a bullet on this. And a lot of other cities, those guys would have been hammered. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to get fired because they fired the cops in Louisville with the Breonna Taylor shooting. They fired 2 of those detectives this week for doing their job.
It'll be the OJ justice.
So
they'll be found not
Right.
guilty on one side, and then they'll get him on the other side.
Or they're not even being charged in Louisville.
Yes.
Thank you. Jacob's back.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
Jacob.
Dempsey's back.
Yeah.
Jacob's back. Get rid of
Jacob.
Panda Bear.
Jacob.
You just got to push past the sleeping panda in the corner.
So check this out. In Louisville, is it Louisville? Yeah. Erica Shields. Erica Shields has just been named the chief of the Louisville Police Department.
Okay.
Erica Shields' name you might know as she was the chief in Atlanta when Rayshard Jones was
Wait,
shot.
carry the one.
Yeah, exactly. So, officers there in Atlanta over the summer gets called to the job at Wendy's where the guy is drunk in the drive-thru, passed out in the car. The officer pulls up in his car, asks the guy to get out of the vehicle, starts to Q&A him. The guy's obviously under the influence of some sort of intoxicant, narcotics. Oh, by the way, he was released from jail because the COVID, and they wanted to keep them safe, the
It's like
inmates.
the gout.
So he gets out, and Rayshard Jones then takes the taser gun from the cop, turns and fires it at the cop. The cop takes his gun out and shoots Rayshard Jones. The chief of the police department there, under immense pressure from the community, resigned. Okay? So what does Louisville do? In a very similar incident where a police officer involved in a shooting that is getting national attention, Louisville hires her to be the chief of their police department. So she couldn't handle the pressure and the weight of what was going on in Atlanta under that police shooting. She threw her guy under the bus. She basically said, I don't want to be part of this. I'm out. She left. And then she goes to Louisville. Now she's the chief of police there.
Genius.
That's
Genius move.
That's who I want to work for. Are you serious?
Well done. Well done.
Genius move.
My
It is what it
goodness.
is. It started off as a friendly piece. Fun, happy.
Tommy, can you get me some ice?
No, are you?
I can't do it. Sorry.
Jacob, can you get me some ice?
Oh, check this one out.
You're serious about this ice?
I need ice.
Check this
Listen,
out.
She loves ice.
I make sure you guys are always
Jacob,
taken
ice.
care of, and no one.
Go ahead.
It's kind of hard for me to get them, guys. Jacob,
No,
we
you
have
should
some
not
ice.
get. Go ahead, Tommy.
Chicago Police Department. Can we have just get a cup of ice for Holly, please?
Please,
Thank you.
Jacob. And
We just
I'm-
need this. Somebody make this noise stop.
In between the pizza,
Does anybody else hear this humming?
Chicago Police Department.
Chicago.
Shakaki.
You're out.
Jason Berg. Police Officer Jason Berg.
Jason Berg.
Berg. Not Alec Berg from Seinfeld. Jason Berg. We laugh, but it's a shame because he just got fired.
What?
Jason Berg got fired for a 9/11 job. He
Chop, chop,
responded
Jacob.
to.
Before you keep going, can I take issue with this with you, please? Because it drives me nuts, and it's a pet peeve. And I lied about giving your show back to you. It's a pet peeve. Can you please just say 911? Can you please do it? When you say when he dialed
Jacob,
911,
thanks,
you don't
Will.
dial 911. You dial 911 that's 911. 911 is what you dial. This is like people again.
911?
Since this is all there you go. Since this is about me. Like when you do a traffic stop, this is like the idiots that are like, occupied 3 times. How the fuck is a car occupied 3 times?
Well, they got out, they got back in,
It's
they
either
got out.
occupied or it's not.
Yeah.
To be occupied 3 times, exactly. The person would have to you stop them. They get out,
They
and they
got
get back
back
in.
in.
Then they get out, and they get back
back
in.
in.
Now it's occupied
Right.
3 times. A car can have 3 occupants. So please, start your story again. Jason Berg, somebody dialed 911.
Get your
Continue.
shit together, Tommy.
He's answering on a 9/11 job. So he's answering a 9/11 job. He gets there, and the complainant is a woman and her boyfriend, who claim that a man pulled up in his truck.
A woman or a man?
No, a real man.
A woman.
A man. Get out of his truck. ID'd himself with a shield as a Chicago police officer, and then went into the truck and got his gun out, and then chased her and the boyfriend, pistol whipping the boyfriend, and then putting his gun in her mouth, and then fled the scene. Jason Berg shows up, takes the job. Guy's 90 zebra, he's gone. This, that, and the other thing. Takes the complainant 2 years to identify the officer that she claims was involved in this. That officer gets arrested.
2 years.
Takes 2 years for her to be able to, poring over records and looking at stuff. She finally identifies the officer as whoever the guy is. There's a lawsuit. The officer resigns. She gets paid $160,000 in the settlement. 8 years later, they're, what's it called now? What's the name of the jammy? It's the Chicago Police Board, which is like our civilian complaint review board.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of civilians, independent civilian review board. They get a hold of the case. 8 years, 10 years after the incident, mind you. 10 years after the incident. So the original independent police review board was disbanded. The original one, independent police review, authority. They heard the case originally 10 years ago. They never ruled on it. It kind of just got bounced around, and that was the end of it. 8 years after this cop gets convicted or he resigns, they go after Berg, and a 9-person panel. 8 of them said get rid of him, and 1 person said this is ridiculous. I
Time
can't
to
believe
go,
we're going to
Berg.
fire this guy for something that happened 10 years ago. And the reason they gave was that they said that Berg's testimony was they didn't believe him. It was kind of inconsistent because at one point he said, when I got there, the woman was at one place and the woman said, I'm at another place. Oh, and the witness that was in the original off-duty cop's car has gone DOA. So they don't have a live witness. They have a statement. I don't know what that statement was, but 10 years later, they fired him. Like,
What?
10 years after a 9/11
Stop
job.
the planet. I want to get off.
Fired. How crazy is that? I mean, it's Chicago.
So
Wait.
10 years after
Tom.
9/11. So he was fired in
What kind of
2011.
job was this?
It
was a 9/11 job
It was
for-
10. It was
Oh,
10
alright.
years
Just
after a
for-
9/11 job. So he
flag
must have been
assault.
fired in 2011, is what you're saying. Then. Jesus fucking, dude.
Well, see, your biggest mistake was actually pointing that out.
Well, you're right.
All right, good. You learn from your mistakes. Good. Like my kids.
You know what else I hate too? Like if I call you on the radio, say your handle is I don't know, Big Tom. I don't know. Let's go here. And I call, you know,
That's what the ladies call me, Josh.
you know,
What is he, a trucker or a cop?
7 Mary Adam. So listen, so you're Big Tom, and Big Tom from the desk, and you answer. Now you are physically answering. Go for Big Tom. No, I can't. I'm going to you, not for you. If you were answering for Christian, then you would say go for Christian.
Oh, we didn't use
Right.
nicknames. We just might go, hey, Paul, on here. And then Paul would switch to 10, and you talk to him on channel 10.
This is
Right, it's a whole
common.
third
Answering
person
for
thing, the whole third
someone
person.
say answering for
Right, I
Josh,
get you.
not answering as
Like
Josh.
if you
feel
called
you,
me
Josh.
and I said go for Josh.
you, Josh.
No,
I feel you.
you're going to me. You don't
Why
go
wouldn't,
for
hold on,
me.
why wouldn't you just say, if I say Josh on the air? Yeah, what's up?
Josh, don't worry about him.
Like-
I'm picking up what you're putting down. You're good. It's okay. Don't worry about Tommy. He's obnoxious.
He's paranoid.
Just don't tell Tom.
Car 54, where are you?
Yeah, I don't know where we
Don't.
are.
Go for car 54.
219 Blue Room, guys. You guys may want to chime in on this because I want to touch base on what we think without getting too crazy. And Christian probably has no input on this whatsoever, but you can just watch how a Biden presidency is going to affect law enforcement. Legitimately, not. Listen, I don't want all like he's going to fire every cop because the research and the comments that he's made, he is not one. Hear me out. He is not one of them yelling, defund the police. What he is yelling is, we need to change
I
the
like
way
to smell little girls'
police-
hair. Oh no, they wasn't yelling that.
No, he didn't smell. He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Oh damn. Sorry.
So he's not a defunder.
My
I
legs
don't
are in the
think.
pool.
I think he's more of a. We need to retrain. We need to make sure police behave differently. But he's not a big defunder of in general police. Now ICE and and Custom Border and stuff is going to be a little different, I believe, under his administration. But in general, how do we feel in the law enforcement community? How this is really going to have a major impact on what we do? That's the question.
Don't look at me. If you
Wow.
do you really want me to start? Oh, go ahead.
No.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Under a Biden administration, we can have open borders. That's all I have to say. We can have open borders. Kamala Harris,
Survey says.
if Biden steps down for whatever reason, dementia, whatever excuse they pull out, if Biden steps down and Kamala becomes president, she is a huge police defender fanatic. Am I right or wrong?
I don't
here?
think either of them have any stance whatsoever. I think the big thing you're going to see is it's going to be the return of the Obama era. It's okay to
2.0.
it's okay to second guess cops without having
Cambridge,
know,
Massachusetts.
we go right back to Cambridge, and again, anybody can see it. You can Google is your friend to look it up. Obama's first official statement on the Cambridge incident was at 09, I think. I want to say 09. His first official statement, he says, while I wasn't there, I didn't witness anything firsthand, and I don't have all the facts yet, I think we can all agree the police acted stupidly. So the highest elected official in the land, arguably the most powerful person on the planet, just told you it's okay to assume a police officer's guilt.
But I think he was more divisive than Biden.
Well, but I
in
think,
a
but
lot
I
of
think
this.
you're going to see the return of that being commonplace.
Yeah, but it's going to be Obama 2.0.
If
You know what a consent decree is? Consent decree? Consent decree basically means that it's like a mediation. So when the government steps in, and Obama did a lot of them, Trump had very few of them. The DOJ didn't erase the use of consent decrees, but Obama had a lot, utilized it a lot more. Basically, what happens is the DOJ steps in, and it's usually specifically targeted at widespread abuse from law enforcement or prosecutors based on minorities or physical abuse. So the way you treat them by their color, the way you treat people physically. And the consent decree, what happens is the DOJ steps in, and when you get your ass beat by a cop, and here's the police department, it doesn't go to a trial anymore. What happens is the DOJ steps in and says, let me hear your story. Let me hear your story. Oh, you're this police department? Well, let's try and find out how many other cases like his existed in your police department. And then they mediate that. And they mediate it by lots of different ways. People can get fired. They can order police departments to retrain certain people. But due process goes out the window. And that is a huge, even Jeff Sessions said it early on in the Trump administration, that the use of consent decrees is a very dangerous precedent you're setting when you allow the government to step in and control police departments. The government doesn't, Trump was great about letting the states do their thing. It's not my problem. Hey, Washington, handle your shit. Minnesota, handle your shit. Maryland, handle your shit. Jersey, handle your shit. When the government steps in and says, oh, there's been 3 cases of whatever abuse. Now we want to step in, and then we're going to make a judgment on this. We're going to find this. We're going to find that. You possibly get terminated, and this is how you're going to go forward. And that's a very dangerous precedent to set, especially with people like Biden and Harris. I think we're going to see a lot more of that, and I think that's going to be a real problem in law enforcement. You know, people talking now about how, you know, even under the Trump administration, where law enforcement kind of pumped the brakes and took a step back because they were a little nervous. They weren't nervous about the president, because that's not the president's job. The president's job isn't to make sure that laws get followed or prosecuted in a certain way in every little municipality. That's the states, then down to the cities, down to the towns. That's their job. It's not the big guy's job. I don't care who the big guy is at the time. It's not his job or her job.
Right.
And I think we're going to see that go back to that. And that's going to be a problem. Because now you're saying is, my DOJ believes that all police in every city, in every state, in every town, in every little sector should be behaving the same way. And we all know that's just not true. The way a cop behaves in Elizabeth or Jersey City with people is not going to be the same as the cops in Patterson. Just the way it is.
Right.
Or versus a nicer area. I don't know.
Scobie, Montana.
Scobie, Montana. So the Scobie, Montana cops are not going to get those same amount of
cool place.
cases. Scobie.
Scabby. Yeah, it's a cool place.
And if you put everyone on the same playing ground like that, there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. You got to step back and let the municipalities handle it. And if there's a widespread problem, and they all said there was a widespread problem in Ferguson. You know what? The FBI said there wasn't. The data showed that there wasn't. The data showed in Baltimore that there wasn't. If you find the data to back it up in any place that there's widespread abuse of authority towards anyone based on the crimes committed, the color of their skin, or any other factor, then that should be addressed. But the data just doesn't show it.
Right.
That's all. That's just one aspect of what law enforcement's in for in the next 4 years.
Just ass raping.
The Custom and Border Patrol. So the Custom and Border Patrol guys, along with Coast Guard, they recovered in October and November. They recovered like 300 and something kilos of cocaine in Puerto Rico coming in from the DR. They recovered like 7,700 pounds of other narcotics. Countless. Oh, this is under 60-day period. So if you cut Custom and Border Patrol in areas like that and the Coast Guard, that's what they're doing. It's cocaine today. You guess what it is next week? It's going to be 50 people coming in, because those boats aren't going to be stopping people. I understand putting your hands up. Obviously they're going to stop the border wall. I think by law, I think another 350 miles went in or is about to go in, and that's written. So that's probably going to have to get finished. And I'm sure they'll find a way to stop that. But then going forward, and they're moving up towards towards Laredo, the furthest point, furthest point east. You're going to leave like that portion of Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas screwed. They're not going to be able to get in, or in California. They're all going to be coming in New Mexico and Arizona and
I
Texas.
wouldn't be surprised if the new administration will seek a way to demolish that wall that was just built.
They might.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said before, Biden is for open borders.
Or they'll just cut through it and make checkpoints in the wall.
Yeah.
They could.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just say, all right, here, this is how it's going down from now on.
Yeah.
Right.
But the amount of money it would cost to actually put checkpoints in is ridiculous. I can see them stopping it. I don't see them taking it down, because if they take it down and there's a spike in crime directly related to, then there's responsibility.
There's
for that.
accountability
Then there's
related
accountability.
to that,
But if you
exactly.
stop it at a certain point, go, you know what? What's done is done. We're no longer going to continue this because we disagree with it. Listen, I get it. I can't argue with that. If this is fundamentally what they believe in and they're running the show, then we don't have a say in it. We don't have a say in it. The only say you have is when you pull the trigger. I mean, the lever, not the trigger. Well, Josh would not pull the trigger.
I mean,
Oh, this guy.
it's like
Go for Josh. Fucking.
I don't know.
Tommy.
I don't know what to say at this
Tommy.
point.
Next week on Rescue 9/11.
Oh shit!
No, I think we're in trouble. I really think we're in trouble.
No, we're
I
screwed.
think you're gonna see. Again, we talked about it.
Woosah.
I think last week. I think you're gonna see a lot less proactivity than you're even seeing now, because again, cops are going to be afraid of that second guessing and being afraid of being hung out to dry. And again, it is cyclical, it is inevitable, it is going to come back. But I'm telling you, I fear it's going to go so far to the chaos side that when it finally reaches that point, the police force that you're going to see present in the United States is going to look like a third world country. It's going to be cops and BDUs with long guns. That's what you're going to see
Right.
everywhere,
What
because it's
people
going to
are whining
have to
about
get
now.
back to that point.
Right.
But who's going to even take that job? That's going to be another problem. I mean, you got these young kids saying like, the NYPD just put another 900 in a couple weeks ago. You're going to have people saying, why would you take this job? Why would you do? Even the feds. I honestly believe he's gonna wind up scaling down ICE. They're already doing now. I think it's like Article 27 or 327 that says that the local law enforcement are supposed to act in concert with ICE. So if there's a 9/11 job and you get there and you arrest somebody and they're in the system, right? If they're in the system and they're here illegally, then they're supposed to contact ICE. And what they're saying now is they're pressuring the local municipalities not to do that. That's gonna be eradicated completely.
I mean, and it's been so far, and the thing is, it's scary. Like, the average person has no idea. So, like, one of the things that I always used as an example is you have somebody that's in the country illegally, and this is going back long before Trump. So this wasn't even a Trump issue. But you say, if most people don't know, like, if you have somebody that's in the country illegally, you cannot turn them over. They could admit to you. They could say, yeah, you know what, I've been here illegally. I've been here illegally for the last 30 years. Unless you, in Jersey, specifically Jersey, unless you have them for DWI or an indictable crime, felony in New York, so first, second, third, fourth degree crime in New Jersey, unless you have them on an indictable crime or DWI, you cannot turn them over to immigration because that's a violation of their federal rights. So someone that's here illegally actually has federal right. That's a violation of their civil rights for you, unless you have them on an indictable crime or DWI. They
What
can
if
say,
there's a warrant? What if there's a warrant?
if there's a warrant, you can call, but a lot
There's
of
an
times,
ICE warrant on
a
somebody?
lot of times they won't even bother to come get them.
I don't understand. Like, other countries, they don't do that.
Like, they could look you in the face. You could stop them and be like, and you know it. I mean, any cop that's been a cop for a week knows you get the licenses. The ones from Pennsylvania, North Carolina,
Delaware,
Maryland, state
Maryland?
of. Yeah.
Maryland?
Yeah.
Who says that? Who says Maryland?
It's probably the same guy that would say 9/11 for 911.
Maryland.
Oh, it's Maryland? Was it
Yeah.
MERRY? Is that like
Maryland.
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 Marilyn Monroe.
State
Maryland,
of state of Washington. So you know what you're getting, and they can look you in the face in Jersey and be like, yeah, I've been here illegally 30 years, and you cannot do shit because you're violating their civil rights. That's how insane.
That's mind-boggling, actually.
That's
mind-boggling.
bogging, mind-bogging.
what?
It's like the flog bogging.
But
Mind-bogging?
Listen, do you know if you go to Dubai or the United Arab Emirates illegally, you go to prison and they'll deport you.
They cut your feet off.
Cut your tongue out. They'll
Yeah,
stone
but
you to
I'm
death.
saying
This shit's happening now.
any other country will not
think
do
we should
what
stone
we're
you.
doing.
I
What
saw
we're
a
doing
man
right
get
now.
killed with a trident.
I'm not saying that we should cut their feet off. I'm just saying.
At the pants store.
It's the pleats.
All I'm saying is
They're gonna cut the feet
we're
off.
the only country that are literally letting illegals in and giving them federal rights. What other country does that?
No other country.
Well, we're not like any other country.
So-
Christian.
No,
We're the melting
okay,
pot.
but that doesn't justify why what are we doing right now is right. We shouldn't be doing that. First of all,
We
Christian,
allow
no, we
Einstein to
shouldn't.
speak Spanish
Christian.
when he's here, don't we?
if
That's what this country's about.
if I go to your
He's
house,
sleeping. Look at me sleeping.
if I go to your house, right? Listen, if I go to your house armed, you'll shoot me, right?
I'm gonna shoot you right here.
I'll tell you what,
gonna
Christian.
shoot you
Come to my
with
house
with the
at 2
bullets
o'clock
that
this
Tommy
morning,
gave me.
and let's find out.
Christian, hold up.
Oh my God.
So, from a citizen, right? Not non-law enforcement. So, Renee, She said, my fear is, why will quality cops stay on the job if this is how it's going to be?
They're not going to.
Let alone lack of new hires.
They're
It's
not going
scary.
to.
It
So our
is.
citizens
It
are
is.
saying,
Quality cops, the cops with
Right.
time on are
Right.
leaving at their
Running for the
first,
hills.
rather than staying extra years, maybe because they love the job, maybe for money, whatever reason is, they're leaving. So you're losing quality, experienced, practiced operators. You're losing practiced cops in favor of the younger cops that are taking it. And again, like she had said, how long till they stop taking it? You know, how long till like, yo, this job is just not
I
worth
mean,
it.
would you let your child, if they ask you for guidance?
Well, it's
I don't-
You
I-
can't really let anyone do
I,
anything.
I don't
If
I don't
they-
I don't
You
control
advise
my
them.
child like
Let
that,
me
Holly.
rephrase. You two idiots.
Yeah, I
If they
control
were-
my child. Sorry.
Holly, get me a drink, will you?
No,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I hear everyone say, "Oh, America is unique." Just because we're unique, that doesn't mean that we should let illegals in our country. Period.
So like over in
Period.
so across the pond, they should be watching a show called Locked Up Abroad, but
Is
based
that-
on us.
Is that Canada?
like based on us, right? Like as you say, I like where you're at.
Is that Lake Ontario?
I mean, you
The
do
pond?
you do that in Japan. Go immigrate there illegally in Japan and see what they do to you.
If they did Locked Up Abroad on us, he'd see somebody get, quote, 2 pounds of weed, desk appearance ticket.
Right.
Locked Up Abroad, released an
Yeah.
hour after getting
Jacob,
locked up and hanging
Jacob.
out.
Sorry
Jacob.
for the inconvenience,
Right,
smuggler.
right.
No, here it's you got 2 pounds of wheat, a pound for me, a pound for you. Take care.
Do you need postage?
But what I'm saying, like we've normalized that. You get it? We've normalized illegals
Christian,
coming
We
in,
know that, though, Christian. We all know that.
but it's like we're not doing nothing about it. That's a huge problem. Right
Well, we
there.
were. I
Of course
think
it's a
things are
problem.
going to change. That's the idea of this conversation, this discussion, is that how is law enforcement going to change under this current administration? Listen, it's honestly, it's not the end of the world. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to
Chris,
lose everything I worked
It's the
for.
beginning of the end, actually.
Well, that's because you're
It's
young
not the
and
beginning
you,
of
you
the
don't
end
know.
because we've persevered throughout history so much, Christian, so much. Think about it. Okay, there's so much we've gone through. over the years.
I've already said it, and Holly, I think at this time you were probably probably in your 30s. In the early 60s, in the early 60s, you know, the U.S. citizens,
dick.
the U.S. citizens had to watch their president, the president's brother, and the most prolific civil rights leader of all time, all killed on U.S. soil in broad daylight.
and plus a missile crisis too, right?
You can't tell me that they didn't feel like Rome. It's it. Rome. They're just saying the same shit.
Yeah.
That's it. Rome is over.
We're done.
No,
Every
but-
empire,
no.
every
Josh,
empire
Josh.
has an expiration
So-
No,
date.
Josh.
T-birds, grab your brass knuckles.
There's a difference between that time and this time. That
It's just
time,
'cause it's a different time.
No,
because
no,
the
no, 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 no,
calendar's
no, no.
different, bro. It's the same
people
shit.
actually mourned,
At the
You're
cried.
yelling at me.
It fucking is.
You're
man.
yelling.
People cried, mourned of the assassination of JFK. People mourned and cried when Martin Luther King was killed.
Have
right?
you ever been to a line of duty police funeral? When 50,000 people, oh, by the way, of the 50,000, 49,500 didn't even know that cop that was killed line up in the street to honor that person on the way out? You're wrong.
You're wrong.
And one of the best lines about something involving that, they didn't know him, but they knew him well.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you would
I never
Chris,
met
you
him, but
would
he's
see
my family.
you would see the same kind of empathy.
I know, but what I'm saying is, during the times of JFK, people actually had feelings. Yo,
Chris, there were a
the-
lot of people that hated JFK, bro.
I know, but
People have feelings.
They
now,
I
killed
know,
him.
they're just
but
afraid.
guys, you're not understanding. There's people right now cheering and partying because Trump got banned from Twitter.
You don't.
Imagine,
Okay.
imagine if he got assassinated right now. Trump got
Let him-
assassinated. People will
So-
be partying in
I
the
mean,
streets
Chris-
right now.
Chris-
What did we say earlier in the?
My ears.
It's
What did
two
we
different
say
times.
earlier in
People
the show?
back then.
Let people have what they want. Let them have what they want. They will quickly find out that it's not good. Okay.
I'll put this
the
in-
pendulum will swing.
Put it in a box.
Swing, it'll swing.
It'll swing to the degree that it's so ugly and outrageous.
Pink lady's drunk.
Here's the deal, Christian.
I'm not drunk.
If we could, if we,
But you are a
if
pink
we
lady.
could live through, right? If we can live through Holly's feet.
2 hours of this show.
Seeing Holly's feet in open toe.
If we can live through
We
2
can-
hours of this show,
We can get through 4
Jesus.
years of this, all right? Do you remember seeing Holly's feet open toe?
No, I never
See,
seen Holly's
see, you
feet.
forgot already. You
Jacob
forgot
is
already.
still so happy about that.
They're
so I
webbed.
don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. They're not webbed.
But what I'm saying is, this
He's got a
time,
picture up on his wall.
this time, the Democrats have the White House, they have the Senate, they have the Congress. They'll put up with any agenda. They'll pass it. They'll do whatever
you know
the
what
fuck they want to do.
You know what you do?
Go on.
This is what you do.
Call 911.
Yeah, call 911 and see what happens. You fucking scumbags. This is what you do. You turn off your TV. You turn off your social media. Go outside and do something nice for a stranger.
That's right.
That's what you do.
Be the change you want to
You just
see.
do.
Live
You do.
your
Create your
life.
own reality.
Live
That's
your
what you
life.
do.
You take a
Hang
picture of
around with
Holly's
people.
feet, you put it on your pillow, you go home and have some happy time, all right?
No.
Hang around with people that are like-minded, that will lift you up. Don't hang around with people that are miserable losers, because there's way more positive.
If Chris hung
happy
around with people
in
that
the
were
world.
like-minded, it'd be a pack of zombies just walking down the street.
It would be him and it would be Christian and Bernie. Can they get a show? The Christian and Bernie show? Dude, thank you. You're welcome.
Yes.
The
Where's
Christian
Bernie?
and
I
Bernie
miss
hour.
Bernie.
It's 1
The
hour.
condom hour.
It's 1 hour of just unscripted, just Christian and Bernie sitting
What
across from
happened
each
to Bernie?
other.
Did he get the Rona?
No,
I-
he's good. He's okay. I found him the
I'd watch
other
that.
day.
I'd
He's
watch that.
okay.
He's okay?
He's happy. Yeah.
So why doesn't he come see us anymore?
I don't know.
The Rona.
Is
The
he
Rona.
happier without us?
He's afraid of the Rona, or he's got the Rona?
No, I think we're afraid of the Rona.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to bring.
Yeah,
Rona.
yeah, no,
Okay,
definitely
okay,
not, definitely
gotcha,
not.
Okay.
But like,
I can't believe we let him sit here.
but like, all I'm saying is, people back then had respect, had morality back then. You know, like I said, MLK got assassinated, JFK got assassinated. People actually, they may not even like JFK, but they'll be like, you know what? That's fucked up.
I'll tell you something right now. All right. If there was social media like there is now back in the 1960s, you would see people celebrating
Same bullshit.
JFK killed. You would see people celebrating
Absolutely.
Martin Luther King killed. Because why? Because there are bad people
They would
out
have
there. There are
celebrated the
shitty people out
Challenger
there.
blowing up. They would have celebrated Reagan getting shot. They
the
would,
shit
of
that we
course.
see now, one of the biggest problems that we have is social media.
media.
Anybody, you don't even have to have money to get on. You get one of these fucking phones, these pay by, what are they, not Go phones, what the fuck are they
Burger
called?
Like the
Obama
Walmart
phone, the
phones and
Obama
shit.
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
Obama
can get a phone for basically nothing. Get yourself on YouTube and put a YouTube channel up there, and this is, everybody feels like their opinion means something, and everybody puts their stupidity out there. So it's not that this stupidity was always there. We just didn't see it all the time because people didn't have access to cameras and TV. The only people on the news was Walter Cronkite. That's it.
And the truth of the matter is,
Holly's
there's
first
way-
boyfriend.
when she was 40.
I hate you all.
Actually, I think Holly was his high school teacher.
I
Walter
need
lost
you
his
for-
virginity to her.
Assholes. Christian, the truth of the matter is there's way more happy, positive, driven, good people in the world than there are wacko lunatics. Shut up. The miserable ones are just louder. The happy, normal, functioning, positive people are busy living their lives. They're not out there ranting and raving on social media.
See
That's the
how
truth.
we've turned your mood? Do you see how we've turned your mood?
You
Thank
know,
you.
You were not singing that song when
do-
you came in here.
Christian, I
I
want you
know.
to Google.
But this is why I hang out with you idiots.
I want you to Google. Look
Meat
up
spin.
Fund the First. F-U-N-D the First. Fund the First. While we're talking about something else, I want you to look up Fund the First.
Not fungi first.
That's Holly's foot channel.
But do you know what I really want to do?
Christian, can you do that, please?
Yeah, I mean,
I know what you really don't want to do. Take the leash off your fucking dog.
you know what I really want to do?
Throw your cat out a window. Was that the wrong answer?
I didn't know there were this many kinds of different mushrooms.
You know what I really want to do in the next 4 years? Holly.
Chris, you're a real fun guy.
Holly. Do you know what I really want to do? in the
Have
next-
sex with your pillow.
No!
You want to get a new pillow.
No.
That's me.
You want to get multiple pillows, and you can do it with threesome.
No.
Get your mattress back from your mother.
No. In the next 4 years.
Plastic on the mattress.
No,
because
no,
I
no,
need
no.
a new
Wait,
girlfriend. Go ahead.
Dial 911.
Dan Emery said people thought before speaking back
Oh,
then.
hey, Danny.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
Christian does not.
In the next 4 years, I want to make money.
Oh, you haven't even listed what you're doing.
I want to drive
You're
fast
gonna have to get
cars.
a job though, Christian.
I
I'm
want
just
to
saying.
I want to drive fast cars, Porsche, Lamborghini,
What the fuck
Ferrari.
does that have to do with what we're talking about right
Drive, go around the world. No. She's saying live your life the way you want to live, right? Right? That's what you said.
Be-
Right.
She
I'm
wasn't
saying
asking
be
what
the
do you
change
wanna
that-
do, Christian.
Be the change that you want. Do you don't think I'd have the same feelings, the same
someone
fear
have
and
a brick
concern?
I could
Yeah.
smash
I have
off
young
my fucking
children.
head?
I'm sick to my stomach.
So
But you
fund the
can't
first,
live
Tommy.
in that space. You can't live in that
Right.
space. You just got to keep it moving.
You say hang out with like-minded people, right? I'm gonna hang out with people that like Porsches, hot women, travel around the world, Ferraris, eating tomahawk steaks. I want to do that. I really want to do that. I want to drive fast cars. take Sydney to Tiesto, drive BMWs. Yeah, that's for real.
I agree. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, you know.
I like it. I'm with
When
it.
when Cindy turns 21, I'm gonna take her to Las Vegas to the MGM Grand
To an
nightclub.
Elvis chapel.
No,
Is she gonna be? Is she gonna be
Christian.
awake during this time? Or
you
is
can take
Hey
her-
Sid, does this smell like chloroform?
Check my emails. Right now.
Tommy, you can have your show back, Tommy.
take her to Tiesto in Las Vegas. You know, play blackjack 21 with her on the casino table. You know, take
What
her
is that like code word for something?
take her to Tokyo or I don't know where.
Tokyo, you're gonna get the
Oh my
Rona.
God! Save this for
I'm gonna take her to
Japan.
Bangkok.
All right, let's bring it back. Fund the first. Let's bring it back in.
Yeah,
I'm
reel it in.
I'm just gonna cut each of my fingertips. You guys let me know how you're
Start
fucking done, right?
start with the crooked one if you're gonna cut your finger.
Yeah, start with your,
Yeah.
start with your pinky though. Pinky.
Finish your bris.
I'm gonna finish.
Cut your pinky.
All right, I apologize. Everybody,
All right,
listen,
this
lock
is
it
it.
up. Lock it up.
This is it, right? Fund the first.
Lock it up. Fund the first.
You tell me, what is it?
Yeah, it's
What is it?
fundthefirst.com,
What
right?
is it?
So, first responder military fundraisers. Okay, so we have military, law enforcement, dispatch, firefighters, corrections, medical.
They want a refund.
Okay, so following first reserve is a special fund that helps pay financial expenses related to the passing of a first responder. Your contribution helps honor the heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice to keep the public safe.
It's a secure GoFundMe type of crowdsourcing fundraising platform that was started by an NYPD detective who tried to raise money for somebody, and someone told him it's probably a scam. Don't send money over there. And he said, "Hey, you know what? There's a need for this." So all those GoFundMe and you know you see it all the time. Someone's raising money. It goes to the wrong place. You know we see it and we'll say, "Oh, who's running that? Who's doing?" These guys vet every single account that gets started, and then they run it. They make no money on it, and it's all first responder military fundraising.
Chris, put the link to that site in the comments.
All right, got it.
Fundthefirst.com. I don't know them. Somebody put me onto it. I did a little research. It seems legit.
Yeah, it looks like I saw just from when Chris turned the screen around. I saw ID Me was
Yeah,
involved
they're
in there
using
somewhere.
ID Me
Good.
to identify the people that start the fundraising event.
Now,
it's
Tell
all
me if they should
secure.
drink.
Now, do we know? And again, actually, I haven't even researched it at all. Do we know, like GoFundMe? Is there, are there fees involved? Like, where the big thing, with GoFundMe, besides the validity of the actual fundraiser, is the fact that a portion of it, you lose a portion of
I
it.
believe all funds go to the fundraising
Awesome.
event.
Awesome. Listen, that's
You
awesome.
could do a little more research on it. Somebody has contributed to it. Someone put me onto it. Said, check this stuff out. I did a little research. I did a little digging. It seems like a great idea to avoid the scams. If you go on the website, you can click on the current current fundraisers, and they'll show you how much money has been raised for each one, what the goal was, and how many days it's been active.
That's pretty neat too.
So it's
'cause
kind of
you
cool to take a look at it.
Make the world a lot smaller as far as fundraising is going to open it up. I like that.
Especially
That's neat.
especially for us.
Yep.
We don't have a whole lot of money, but if you want to contribute into something and you can pop on there and you take a look and go, oh, I know that. Oh, I know that person. Oh, I used to work in that department or whatever it is. a more secure way to donate to families of the fallen. And it's not just people that were killed in the line of duty. There are folks that were injured in the line of duty that now have medical expenses. They need, they need wheelchairs. They need ramps put in their house. Whatever the event is, whatever the mission is for each individual fundraising event, or their I guess their what would you call it? Funding. Lovely. So take a look at it. I think it's worthwhile.
Absolutely.
I'll do a little digging into it. Maybe we can get a couple of the founders to come on the show and talk about it. Would be kind of cool.
Nice.
Governor Cuomo.
No.
Love,
Can we not?
We love Governor Cuomo.
Cuomo,
So-
Governor,
So
please,
De
please.
Blasio went and publicly said that the NYPD was going to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and then the governor caught wind of it and said absolutely not. And the reason he gave originally, his original reason was that the NYPD police officers are not first responders. That's what he said at first. So obviously one of his minions squared him away a little bit, and he changed his tune the next day and said that the NYPD are not medical first responders. Therefore, they're not in line with to be the first frontline
They're not
people.
a priority.
So
to
maybe
get
they're
the-
not doing aided jobs anymore then.
well,
Not a
and
priority.
that's what I said, and we've had this discussion. Why are we going to aided jobs? Why we listen? We're taught basic first aid in the police academy, which I think most law enforcement agencies teach. So how are you going to turn around and say that they're not
What's
medical
that?
first
That's
responders?
CFR, certified first responder, something like that. CFR is
been
the
a long
medical
time.
side of it, something like
Maybe.
that.
But to turn around, and then this is just a tug of war between the two. This is Cuomo when the NYPD said we're not going to enforce your crazy mask laws. We're not going to enforce the amount of people that can be in someone's house. We're not going to do that. That's not our job. And this is his little payback that he's going to hold the COVID-19. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, so you're going to take away the weapons that police officers need to safely and effectively police the streets. What if the mayor turned around tomorrow and said, NYPD, no more guns? Well, we're not going to allow any more guns. What would the unions say? You're taking away the tools to effectively police. They have the tools to give them the vaccine, and they're telling you can't have it. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Insane, but it's happening. That's why you laugh.
Of course it's happening.
You
Right.
you
It's
you,
just every
laugh
day.
when I say that
I don't laugh.
we're not far away from a time where, again, whether it passes or not, we're not far away from a time where somebody in one of these big cities seriously recommends that they disarm their cops. We're not far away.
What's happening? They did it in East Pittsburgh.
I said that before. I said that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
He
surprised.
did say that. He said that.
He did say that.
Yeah.
And he also said he wants to drive Porsches
I
and
believe
take
that
cities
was
to Tiesto.
February 17th show, 2018. You said that. Yeah, I remember.
And he
I
said
was
something
there.
about tomahawk
Really?
steaks too.
Tom-
Something about
tomahawk.
steaks.
And
Tomahawk.
porterhouse steaks too.
Porterhouse
I agree with the
steaks,
tomahawk, so I love a good tomahawk.
Who doesn't
Yeah,
like
the
it?
tomahawk steak.
But is that what you're living for? I mean,
Medium
is this,
rare.
Is this what you got?
Oh, medium rare.
medium
I
rare.
love medium rare,
Wow, that
man.
was very
That's a
judgy.
perfect spot, bro.
See, well,
Okay,
hanging around with like-minded people. You apparently.
Okay, rare.
Salt-based steakhouse in New York City.
Oh, Jesus.
Huh?
There is no you can't go. to
I don't
New York
want
City.
arm
What are you
hair
talking about?
in my steak.
Yeah, thank you.
Brent Benson says, has Jimmy Wags been on the show? James Wagner. Is Jimmy Wagner, is he the guy behind Fund the First, Brent? But we'll definitely dig into that a little bit. That was just a last minute thing I hit off today, and I thought it'd be a good.
That's pretty.
a good
That
throw
honestly,
out
that's
there.
pretty neat. I've never. I got to check it out because that's
Fund the
it.
First.
Just the concept, just sitting here thinking about it. I mean, that is neat. If you are, a benevolent person and you have the means, that's a neat thing to be able to go on there and see nationally.
Well, think about all the
like-
scams. Those two
Yeah.
people that had the homeless guy, and they raised like $460,000,
Yeah.
and then they kept the money.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
So this is a way, hopefully, to securely
That's awesome.
get those funds for people
That's
that
awesome.
need it.
Anybody, Karen, you just made this comment, and I don't disagree with you, but I'd
Who?
love to have you call in one of our commenters on the podcast.
I thought you were just
Let's
talking to somebody
have-
here. I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
No, but
What did she say?
Conversation.
Shots fired. She just
She's
called me
saying there
Karen.
are dark times coming.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So
I
let's
agree.
call in. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. I want to know what your take is on.
No,
what you,
I think they shut the phone down
oh,
on
they
us.
did. Okay.
So Ann
Wait.
made a great Ann O'Sullivan Marshall. So I guess detectives, police officers won't visit or watch complainants or victims or perps at the hospital. So you're going into this place. I didn't even think about that. Forget about the jails and the people you deal on the street. You get assigned to watch a perp in the hospital or visit a complainant, and now you're walking into a potential ward of the Rona, where everyone else that works there has been vaccinated
Right.
and safe, and now you're in there as an officer, and you're the only one that's not vaccinated.
They had an EDP at Memorial Sloan Kettering last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
So shooting, right?
I don't know
That
if
was
it a
last night or
shooting.
2 nights?
It wasn't shooting or no?
Last night or 2
I don't
nights
think
ago?
so, but
No, it was last night,
Last
wasn't
night?
it? I think it was last night. How are you gonna deal with that?
they went in. They got to deal with it. You got to go in
But-
there. You got to secure the area. You got to help
You,
people.
you bring up
So
a real good point. Like how deep does it have to go before unions are pushed to this? Like, I
And-
mean, we can't strike.
Right. So it is,
But-
if the vaccine is what they say it is, if it's successful, if it's going to
you had your
solve
guinea
the
pig.
issue, right? Then how do you explain? What if there's an issue? What if one of those law
My balls
enforcement
balls
officials
tingle a little bit,
went
and I can
into
hear
Sloan
sounds
Kettering
from
and you
3
have
towns
all
away.
these compromised cancer patients getting chemo and all this other stuff, and they have to go in because there just is an incident and it's potential for anything to happen. How are they going to explain that liability?
And now you have
There's-
officers
now
that
you
are in
have-
there. You got 25 cops in there that aren't
Correct.
vaccinated in a hospital
That's
full of
correct.
people with
But don't give
compromised immunity.
They're not a priority, though. Screw them all. Oh, okay. Okay. And then also, by the way, people come from different countries to go to Sloan Kettering for treatment. Now you have somebody from Israel or a different country come in who's compromised immune system, and they get the Rona from one of those police officers who weren't able to get the vaccination because they said they're not pertinent.
But this is
Make it make sense.
Cuomo's.
Make it make sense.
My junk is bigger than your junk. Right.
Right.
This is.
Right.
Huh?
Pillow sizes.
Pillow talk. It's
Yeah,
pillow
yeah.
talk.
This is pill talk.
You know, there's a song from one of the One Direction former One Direction singers.
Who?
You know One Direction? The boy,
Did they used to be in Led Zeppelin?
no, One
No.
Direction, the boy band, right?
Okay.
One of the
Boy
singers
band?
who
Can you go in that direction?
No.
Back up just a tiny bit.
sit back just a little there.
All right, one of the singers that used to be part of One Direction, right? He created a song called Pillow Talk.
Is that where you got the
I wish we
idea
had the
from?
soundboard where we could just put a crickets thing. Just,
I'm just saying.
You got anything you want to
not
touch
just-
base on? You want to fundraising, money raising, charitable stuff? We can
Nah,
do?
yeah, no, I'll skip that. But I do want to, send some thoughts and prayers out. And any retired Port Authority police guys, any guys with even a lot of time on the Port Authority police, Judith McNeil, who is the sister of Walter McNeil, who died on 9/11. She has the COVID, and she is currently in Colombia fighting for her life. So anybody that has known her, was friends with her, knew the family, please keep her in your thoughts. Currently, she is on a ventilator. They're trying to get her healthy and stable enough to do a tracheotomy on her, or tracheostomy.
It's tracheotomy, isn't it?
Tracheotomy on her. But
Trach for sure.
yeah, right now her oxygen thing is down to 40, and her kidneys are failing. So she's in real bad shape. So if you can, like I said, keep her in your thoughts. Yeah, that's all I got.
Who's the what hat you wearing tonight? Who's that Warrior 307?
Ah,
Who's that?
good call. Happy Alive Day yesterday to Jesse Hartnett. For those that don't remember, Jesse was shot at, I believe it was 13 times, hit multiple times, just almost destroying completely his left arm. We're trying to get him in here next week. That's the plan right now.
No pressure, Jesse.
No pressure, Jesse. I'm just gonna make your flyer and put it out there and lock you in. Too bad.
Please show up.
So I don't want to tell his story. I'll put it this way though, listening to Jesse tell his story, and I tell everybody, ahead of time, it'll make your hairs stand up. He remembers everything.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know the story, just Google it, take a look. Jesse
it's-
Hartnett, Philadelphia Police Department.
I mean, like I said, I don't.
We
I
won't
just,
tell the story. Hopefully, he comes in and he can share it. But
yeah, I don't want to take away because
Yeah, no, definitely
he remembers everything. He remembers sights, sounds, smells, everything. So like I said, to hear him, like even to the sounds, I'll not give away, but I'll recount a little bit of his
don't
story.
tell us the end.
Yeah, no.
He lives, right?
I'll recount a little bit of it. Like one of the things that when he says he he could tell the guy was tracking him because he could hear the difference in the sounds from the bullets, hitting the fender to the dashboard to the glass breaking. So he could actually hear
them getting closer.
Yeah, I mean it's an intense story. But Jesse is a fucking.
What kind of car was he in?
Is an Impala.
Well, what color?
Yeah,
Police interceptor?
he
What engine? V6 or V8?
oh, Jesus. He
Should have had
he's
a V8.
he's a
Somebody
he,
throw a pill in my
he
drink.
is an absolute badass. Yes, he lived, and not only did he live, but after being hit, and again nearly having
So
hit,
you weren't going to tell his story.
I'm not
Yeah,
not
really,
going to tell
Josh.
his story. He was still able to pursue his suspect and put rounds down range and hit him. So, and that was before he had a tourniquet himself. So, he's a fucking badass. So yeah, Jesse, you have no choice. Too bad. Now I'm making your flyers. See you Friday. Thank you, management.
Conclusion. You're right.
Yeah. Conclusion: you have no choice.
Charlie's going to go pick him up.
Are we
Yeah,
going to do
there
the
you go.
fun segment now?
No,
It's the end
no.
segment.
This is the end thing. We're doing plugs. What do you
This is
got,
it?
Holly?
This is it?
Charlie's baby just he came out just now. Charlie just had a baby.
Charlie just had a baby.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Wow!
Congratulations.
Yay!
Listen, when he finds out who the father is, I'll kick his ass for him. Right?
Wow. Shots fired.
Wow!
I want to give a shout out to BBO Brothers Before Others, brothersbeforeothers.org, and Brothers Before Others Public on social media.
Brothers before others. Christian, you got a live read?
Of course.
Oh, you have a live read?
Of course, I have a live read.
You gonna fuck it up or no?
Nah.
Go for it, baby. Go for it.
All right. TheBlueMagazine.com, the national independent voice of law enforcement. If you want to know more about the current state of affairs of law enforcement, retired or current active police officers, just go to TheBlueMagazine.com. And also, one of our sponsors, Tri-State. Tri-State is the place where you can get all kinds of medical care and family care with little to no wait time. Just go to BlueTristate.com.
They do the Rona test over there?
Of course.
Just checking.
That's what I got. That's where I got my test from. Negative.
I will.
They should do more tests than Rona on you.
I will mention the one of our members, Brothers Before Others. One of our members works up in the Boston area. So if you live up in that area, even if you're not PD and you want to support him, he's going through hell right now with his oldest son. His son was involved in an incident, and right now he's also fighting for his life. And obviously everybody inside of BBO knows, but anybody from outside that knows Lance knows. I mean, that he is one of he's one of the most genuine human beings you'll ever meet.
Christian, can you put that up in the comments? Donate at brothersbeforeothers.org.
Yes.
And then in the notes you have to put Junior. If
Junior.
anybody wants to make a donation to the family to help them at this terrible time, brothersbeforeothers.org. In the notes, put Junior if you want to donate.
Yeah, donate at brothersbeforeothers.org. That's the PayPal donation address. We're collecting for his family. Like I said, his oldest son is fighting for his life. So anybody that's gone through,
22, right?
What's the name again?
it's in the notes. You put Junior. It's the PayPal donation address is donate at brothersbeforeothers.org, all one word. And again, that's PayPal. And anybody that's gone through child stress, medical stress.
I don't know anyone.
And yeah, no.
No one comes to mind, Josh.
Me neither. Knows that takes years off your life exponentially. And again, cops being cops, it seems shallow to throw money at it, but this is what we do. Money doesn't solve problems, but try solving any without it. And especially at times like this, to give them that kind of relief, where that's one less thing that they don't have to worry about, especially now when hospitals are on lockdown. So it's not like we can even go visit or do those things. There's so little that we can do. So please, again, if you know Lance, even if you don't know Lance, if you're up in the Boston area, I can tell you that he's been an asset to you, and you probably haven't even realized it. So yeah, donate at brothersbeforeothers.org with Junior in the notes. PayPal. Thank you.
Road trip.
That's
coming.
It's coming.
We can drink beers in the parking lot.
It's
Just like
coming.
anyone else.
It's coming.
Johnny Blue, you were very quiet over there tonight. I was
Yeah, you're
expecting-
very shy.
You
Come
know,
on,
you know what happens
speak up.
when
Speak up.
when Torres isn't here. They bounce off each other, you know. And
We do.
It's
I miss you.
Can you put him in the window.
me.
Bring him in.
Love.
Two things. A brother and academy classmate, Ed Mandarin, who's in an induced coma right now, battling COVID-19. Hope he pulls through. Praying for his family. Love you, brother. I want you to get well. I want to see you get up, and we can party again soon. And with that, I'm going to go into my normal.
There's nothing normal about this.
Yeah.
www.proudpig.blue. If you're not patrolling with the pig,
You're doing it wrong.
Oh, Jesus. We're going to let him complete everybody's. Chris,
Yes.
what do you got? Give us a plug, Chris.
I already
Your
did.
own.
I already gave a plug already.
Christian completes me.
Tommy.
There's only one.
There it
There's
is.
only one.
And the only one.
In Johnny's voice. www.lineofdutycigars.com. Any cigar needs, humidors, accessories. We got a lot of other stuff on the website now. Custom ashtrays. You're doing an event. We did Brian Carlino's PBA event about November 30th. Great turnout. We had 100 guys there in Jersey, hanging out, drinking, smoking, getting out, introducing ourselves. You're not going to beat what we do unless you're getting it for free, in which case, I don't care what they are, you take it because it's all about fundraising. But if you're buying them, then you should be buying them from me. I will do better than anyone else. Quality cigars, lineofdutycigars.com. Check it out. Next show, next Friday, right?
Next Friday.
What's the date?
I believe that is the 16th. Stand by. It might be the
Wait,
15th.
wait,
Stand by.
I must
it's not 9/11.
It's
What's today? It's the
the
8th?
15th. 1/5.
January
15th.
15th, next Friday, guys.
Jesse
Tune in.
Hartnett's going to have no choice. He'll be here.
Yeah, he has to be here now.
I'm making a flyer now.
We're going to wrap this up, Booth, so take it out.
What does it mean to play us out?
If you are searching for a doctor that truly cares about your overall health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. For more than 11 years, Dr. Alex has been treating law enforcement professionals and their families while focusing on one-on-one care so you never feel rushed. All necessary testing can be conducted during your visit, and they feature flexible hours and appointments to accommodate alternating work schedules. Tri-State Health and Wellness is conveniently located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Contact Dr. Alex today by visiting www.bluetristate.com. Mortgages for everyday heroes. From Michelle Hendershot and Homebridge Financial Services. If you're looking to purchase a home or refinance an existing mortgage, Michelle Hendershot can assist you every step of the way. With over 10 years of experience assisting law enforcement officers with their dream of owning a home, the choice is simple. Contact Michelle Hendershot today. Visit www.mortgagesforblue.com. Are you tired of sleeping alone each night? Feeling sluggish during the day? Is your snoring keeping your spouse awake at night? If you find yourself spending too much time on the couch, maybe it's time to visit Dr. Michael Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is the preferred sleep apnea doctor of New Jersey's law enforcement officers. With the help of a custom-fitted oral device, you can finally say goodbye to noisy, antiquated sleep apnea machines. For more information and to schedule an appointment today, contact Dr. Michael Doblin. Visit www.bluesnore.com. Moment of Silence, Inc., along with Blue Suicide, is a nonprofit organization founded to support and raise awareness about the epidemic of suicides amongst law enforcement, military personnel, and first responders. For more information on how you can help, visit momentofsilenceinc.org. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or a certified used vehicle, then visit Fetty Auto Group, located at the junction of Route 46 and Route 3 in Clifton, New Jersey. Fetty Auto Group stands shoulder to shoulder with the men and women in blue. Stop by and ask for Troy Mall and ask about the offers for first responders. For more information, visit FettyAuto.com. That's FettyAuto.com. The Blue Magazine, the law enforcement publication by law enforcement professionals for the men and women of law enforcement. The unfiltered voice of law enforcement. TheBlueMagazine.com. Are you you patrolling with the pig? If not, you're doing it wrong. Check out all the newest swine swag at proudpig.blue. They are dirty by design. Check it out now. Visit www.proudpig.blue for all your swine swag. Visit www.proudpig.blue. Resumes by Joe. Owned and operated by retired NYPD second grade detective Joe Federa. With over 20 years of professional resume writing experience and focusing on translating what we do as cops into language that the corporate world can appreciate. We put an emphasis on ensuring that your cover letter and resume will be best received by the applicant tracking system used by most companies today. Check out our website at www.resumesbyjoe.com or call Joe directly at 347-992-4523. Don't forget to ask about the 50% discount for BBO members and most unions across the country. Give us the job of helping you get the job. Contact Resumes by Joe today.
If you're a member of the law enforcement profession and are looking to establish long-lasting business relationships with businesses that are blue-friendly, it's time to visit visitblue.com. Visitblue.com features some of the best doctors, lawyers, realtors, as well as other service providers, such as home improvement and financial services. If you are looking for reliable, trustworthy service providers, visit visitblue.com. That's www.visitblue.com.
Founded in 2014 by retired NYPD police officer Michael Burke, Brothers Before Others is a national 501c3 law enforcement charity comprised solely of both sworn and retired police officers. Since their inception, Brothers Before Others has sent floral arrangements to the services of all line-of-duty deaths, regardless of where in the country they occur, having spent over $350,000 to date. While the National Flower Fund remains their cornerstone, their benevolence has since grown well beyond that, even into the civilian world. For more information on how to get involved or to donate, visit brothersbeforeothers.org, or you can visit their public forums on all social media platforms by searching Brothers Before Others. Founded in 2016 by professional musician Neil Giraldo, 3-Chord Bourbon has developed a process that is defined as the perfectly tuned taste, blending carefully selected whiskey bourbon and rye whiskey stocks from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. Designed to be enjoyed with friends and family, 3-Chord Bourbon will leave you with the same feeling you experience after hearing that perfect song. You'll know their whiskeys are right from the very first sip. For more information on 3-Chord Bourbon and available merchandise, visit 3chordbourbon.com. Line of Duty Cigars, owned and operated by retired NYPD Detective Tom Werther. Visit lineofdutycigars.com for our handmade Nicaraguan cigars, custom ashtrays, custom humidors, and custom flask sets. Also, when you place an order, you choose a law enforcement, first responder, or veteran charity, and Line of Duty Cigars donates 10% to that organization. Planning a special event? Contact us today. Visit www.lineofdutycigars.com.